Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 28 of Digitized Desperadoes. This is not like a special, but it's special to me. I don't know. It's this is the Cowboy Bebop episode.
Big episode.
The whole thing.
Yep.
Except the Netflix show.
There's an yeah, they're doing that.
Yet.
Wow.
Oops. Episode's dated. Oh damn.
This is pre if that ever comes out.
It will. They casted it. They're
oh wow.
It. So first of all, to start off, what do they say in the opening song? Tell me.
3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Also the other lyrics. No. Let's get everybody.
Let's get everybody in this stuff together. Or I think it's time to blow this thing. Let's get everybody in this stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. But
I've always heard, let's get everyone on step together, which makes less sense, but it's what I've heard.
No, I think it's this stuff.
There isn't any official lyrics.
Oh,
there are no official lyrics. No one knows.
Do I gotta go ask? What's the guy's name?
Jeeves.
No, the voice actor.
That'd be really hard to get.
Steve Bloom.
It wouldn't be Steve Bloom because Steve Bloom didn't do Tank. You idiot.
It sounds just like Spike.
Do you think they recorded the dub first?
I didn't know if that was in the sub.
All the soundtrack was done by Yoko Kanno and the Seatbelts, who was her own band. She speaks French, English, and Japanese. So all of the songs are in a mix of all the languages. They were all done Japanese, so none of the soundtrack is done by.
Then who's the voice in the song?
You'd have to really look into it.
I'm gonna Google this now.
On the soundtrack out there.
Jeez.
Man, that was a really bad way to.
Why are we hung up on this?
I just googled who is the voice in Tank the song.
There's no way that'll come up with the right thing.
It came down like at the 4th result.
That's pretty good, actually.
See.
It's not Steve Bloom. I know it isn't.
It's not.
Spoken vocals provided by longtime collaborator with Kano, Tim Jensen.
Well,
so that's that person.
Can you tweet him?
Probably
can.
He does not have a Wikipedia page.
That didn't need solving copy pasta.
All right, yeah. 2 minutes in, we've talked about nothing.
I thought it would be fun.
I like this. This is fun.
We're off the hook. We're off the chain.
We're off the hook, yeah.
I was gonna say what? The show?
All right. Anyways.
Okay. So general thoughts. Just throw them out there.
I like this show a lot. This is one of those shows that you always hear about. You hear tons of people talking about it. And it's like a lot of those... sometimes those shows you're like, whatever. And you watch it and it's like, it's overhyped. No, I get it this time. This is like... This is a certified classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those just, you gotta watch it kind of shows. And it's... I just want to say now, it's like, am I a real weeb now? Do I count? I watched Bebop, guys. Or do I still have to watch FMA and Ava?
I mean,
no, you don't have to watch those.
You watched Gurren and you watched some of JoJo. That's all you need.
Yeah.
You watched Devils and Realist.
Oh man.
That's a reference.
Don't bring me back to that.
To us.
Weebs have to know suffering.
Just for anybody's information, we watched Devils and Realist and we hated it. Collectively.
X-Men is watching Grenadier, so you know.
Oh
God, Grenadier.
Okay.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. Shots fired.
You haven't.
I can't defend that show because I didn't even like it that much.
Absolved yourself of that sin yet.
It wasn't that bad.
It was pretty bad.
It's not the worst show I've ever watched.
It's one of them. For me.
Yeah, no. This is definitely really enjoyed this. This was very much worth it.
No surprise there, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. We'll talk about the movie later. We don't have to get into that now. So how about the overall story? How'd you feel?
So yeah, I think the returning characters plot is the only part of the show that I was like whatever. I don't know.
Like what? What do you mean?
What's that guy's name? Shit, the main bad guy that appears in a few episodes. Vicious. Like I thought that stuff was like.
Name.
I
At
think
first, I was like, on it, and by the end of it, I was like, this is good. But like, it was kind of weirdly paced for me. But
personally, I think Vicious is the part that has aged very poorly.
yeah.
I think it was a thing that might have been really cool in '98 when this aired. Poorly.
But now it's like you see a dude with white hair and a katana and a crow on his shoulder, and his name is Vicious, and you're like,
the
oh, what a
crow-
fucking edgelord.
He's the original
turned-
edgelord.
The crow turns out to be a bomb.
Yes.
Does it? Oh
does.
my god.
Yeah, it killed the Red Dragon guys. It saved him from being executed.
Oh yeah.
Saved him from
A lot
firing
happened.
squad.
It happened like in a flash, so it was like hard to tell.
Yeah. The plot, I don't like the two-parters.
Yeah.
I think the last episode is amazing, but the episode before it is just whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Two-parter in the middle is interesting, but
Is
it's
that
not
Jupiter
really-
Jazz? Which one's that?
That's the middle. That's 12 and 13, I think.
I gotta see which one.
Yeah,
is
that's
It's about Gren.
This is Julia. Oh, there's more
Gren
about
and-
Vicious. Yeah.
More Vicious.
It's
Yeah.
basically about Gren. How Vicious is just terrible.
Is Gren the?
He was the,
The guy who fought
hermaphrodite.
with Vicious.
Yeah,
and-
I didn't want to like say an offensive word because I didn't know.
It's not.
Okay, yeah.
I guess you could say intersex, but he's not.
Yeah, but like it was just like I didn't want to say like a potentially controversial word and also like be completely wrong about what character it is, you know.
No,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah. That was a odd plot, but kind of dark also.
It's all right.
I think I think it kind of reminds me a little bit of Trigun. I know we all haven't seen that, but
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Trigun is
I know.
weird where it's like it has all these
Really?
really fun episodes and then like it just hits these points where it's like, oh, this show got like really weird and dark. But I think it
No,
fits
Trigun.
what?
Trigun is interesting because you get these weird slapstick comedic things, but they also build up this darker world,
Uh-huh.
and it's very, very minor. And you think it's going to be minor until the end, but like I don't
Yeah.
know, episode
I think-
16 or something
Yeah.
is pure dark flashback.
Oh yeah,
It's like,
it is.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No, but anyways, with Bebop, I think it fits the universe a lot better because it's like they're bounty hunters, and they do need to bring it back to reality where it's like this isn't glamorous at all.
Like you have your like fun, goofy moments like with Ed and Ein and such, but then you do have to have your real moments where it's like, oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
This
and
is serious
and then
shit.
of course Edward has to leave, but like I was really sad to see Edward leave, and then like the 2 episodes that follow it, I'm like, oh,
And
she couldn't have been there. Like
Yeah.
she's too pure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll get into characters. I fucking love Ed. She's great.
Really?
I love her. She's like
It's a lot
my
of fun.
fucking daughter or some shit.
I have to say, on this watch, I was really disappointed by Ed.
Why?
Ed gets really hyped up. Ed gets really hyped up by the community and stuff. Like big fan favorite. Like basically
yeah.
more popular than Faye and Jet. But she doesn't do much. She's very Deus Ex Machina. If they
I
need
just-
information, she's their hacker.
I don't care about the plot relevancy. I just love watching her just sit in front of the computer and just go. It's so fascinating.
Oh yeah.
She's
Oh, no,
animated
I
like
totally-
slightly different than the rest of the characters. Her arms are
Yeah,
all
she's like on
wiggly.
a whole different like plane from everyone else.
And then she's hacking stuff, and like instead of like regular hacker like UI, it's all like these weird, surreal,
Like fish swimming
yeah,
around
fish
in the
swimming
ocean,
around, stuff like that.
and then
It's like,
face like Ed has a logo.
yeah, I love it so much.
Well yeah, she's deep surfing.
Radical Edward.
Oh, I thought she was fishing,
They call it.
but like with a PH. But I guess that wasn't really a thing
No.
back in the 90s.
I was gonna say
Ein is a good boy.
Ein's a great dog. Did you guys
you
see
can't
this?
go wrong with Ein.
Did you guys see the bonus episode? Not Session
no.
XX, but I forgot what it's called. It's
No, I saw it. I saw it on the website.
it's called
but I didn't
Ein's
watch it.
Summer Vacation.
It's like a 3-minute thing.
No, it's a 1 minute. it's 1 minute.
1
It's just
minute.
like a bunch of like, it's literally just a collection of images of Ein dreaming about going surfing.
Oh my god.
While like this like weird dog song plays. It's literally a minute long. And it's great.
That's excellent.
Ein does one thing in the show, and it's a great thing.
What does Ein do? Ein just barks. And it's
No,
the
there
same
is the
audio
one
clip.
There is the one episode preview where Ein actually talks and says the episode title, and Spike's like, "Wait, holy shit!"
Wait, what? Oh, I
Yeah,
missed that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You're
there's
right.
one episode. There's like one preview where Spike's like, "I don't want to do it this time," and then Ein
Yeah.
barks at him, and he's like, "Ein, you do it," and then Ein's just going, "Woof woof 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 woof," and then Ein says, "Episode da 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 da, like wild horses," and then Spike's
Ah,
like,
damn.
"Wait, you can talk?"
The previews are really funny.
I only
Yeah,
got
it's
to
really
see a
good.
handful of the previews because I would watch this show at break at work, and we were only really supposed to have
Oh.
20-minute breaks, and I used the 2 extra minutes to watch the opening, but I didn't have enough time to watch the outro or the, next time on
the
Dragon Ball
outro.
Z.
The outros are a lot of fun.
The outro is so good, though. I mean, the
It
song.
doesn't top Tank.
Real Folk Blues is a good song though.
I love Tank a lot.
Real Folk Blues is really good, though.
And
I shouldn't be
episode
talking.
previews are always fun.
I've listened to the soundtrack more than I've watched the show, and I've watched the show twice.
I want to
I
start
really
listening to
love
the
when
soundtrack.
Animes have like
One at a
fun
time.
with the episode previews, where it's not just here's the plot, sort of. See you
It's
next
like when the
time.
characters are like talking in character about the plot. That's always fun.
Yeah,
I think they did that a bit with
just wish they
Naruto back
didn't-
in the day.
I wish they didn't show frames from the next episode, though. 'cause
That's
it
always
always
annoying
spoils
because it's
something.
just like, whoa, you're showing me this much?
Yeah, they even did it for the last episode.
What if it was just like, next
really?
time on Dragon Ball Z, Goku fucking dies?
That happens sometimes, though.
I think it happens a few times, but like it didn't happen till like way later in the show. So like it was a big
Well, I mean,
deal
in
when
other
it first
shows, too.
happens.
I mean, in other shows.
Yeah.
yeah. And just the whole main cast is fun. In general,
Yeah.
I'd say.
I don't hate any of the characters that are the main cast. Like some of them
I
I
think-
definitely like more than others, but they're
Yeah.
all great.
I think I found myself appreciating Faye and Jet a lot more on this watch.
I love Jet. I relate to him so much.
Jet is surprisingly great.
He's like
He's
Yeah,
the most-
he's the like stone cold like realist straight man of the bunch.
Yeah, but he's such a
But
he's such a
but he's good.
softy.
He has a good like soft emotional core to him that you don't really get until
And he has all
like,
these
his
he
personal
has all these
episodes.
weird he has these weird like mystical beliefs. He's totally cool with the feng shui thing.
Yeah, and he just does bonsai, and he has like numerous connections to a ton of people,
yeah.
mainly via his past as a cop. Which is
And
like, yeah, just
Interstellar
knows
Cop.
He also
people.
just like is with like some Native American guy in like the last episode. I
Oh,
don't
the
know what
Native
they're talking
American
about.
guy
that Spike chatted with really early.
The native Martian guy, because they're on Mars.
Oh, they're on Mars? I didn't realize where they were.
Yeah, Spike is from Mars.
Well, I don't think the Native American guy would be from Mars because, like, nobody's from Mars.
In this canon in Watanabe universe, there are Mars natives. Fun fact. That's a thing.
I'm not
going to
question it. How did
It's a
they
thing.
get there?
But also it's been 70 years since the Earth was destroyed, so
I guess,
people
yeah, at what
totally
point
could've
are you
lived
gonna
Earth
say
got
native,
blowed
yeah.
up, man.
Anyway,
That's fine. It's got craters all over it.
Okay, do you want to
Oh,
start at the
wait, I
beginning
wanted
now?
to
We've
mention
been-
something about Jet is the thing I find about him that's relatable is he'll just like act like he does not give a shit, and he's just gonna like act like he's like he doesn't care, and he just wants to chill out, but in reality he's totally on point, doing exactly what he needs to be doing, and just not telling anybody that, and I absolutely love it. There's a part, I think it was in the movie, where he's like intercepting somebody's comms, and he's just got headphones on. Yeah, this is the movie.
No,
That's Spike.
Yeah, Spike. Did I say Jet? Oh shit.
Yes.
You said Jet.
God damn it. Okay, well, Spike, yeah, he's intercepting their comms, and he's got the headphones on, and he's pretending to be asleep, but he's really just listening.
Yeah.
You
It's
were like, you
Electra's,
just think, oh, he's
Electra's
just
radio.
Yeah.
being super lazy, and it's like, no, he's actually totally doing work.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that when we get to the movie.
So what now?
So we'll start at the beginning.
Okay, it's been a
Episode
while
one,
since I've
Asteroid
seen the
Blues.
beginning.
Jet and Spike are just two dudes hanging out on a ship together, and they're hunting down some freaking crazy, like, drug. A fucking bloody eye.
The first episode has one of the more horrible criminals who just is a criminal. Like, he doesn't have any
Yeah.
reason. He's just a bad person.
Like, initially you think the woman he's with is pregnant, and then it's, oh no, she's just carrying a ton of
That's
vials
such a
of
good
the
plot
drug.
twist.
Oh, it's so good. Because you're thinking like, oh yeah, he's got a reason for doing this, and then you see that, and it's like, oh no, he's just a bastard.
Yeah, that moment it's really good, and it sets the whole standard for the rest of the show. You know, there's gonna be a villain of the week, which is cool. It does it well, and you know they're never gonna make any money.
Mhm.
Yes.
I
Or
believe
whatever
they
they
turn
do,
it
it's
into-
going to be just enough.
I believe they turn
the
in.
Bebop crew is eternally broke and eternally starving.
I believe they turn in 2 people throughout the entire. No, 3. They turn in 3 people throughout the entire show. They turn in the hijackers in Waltz for Venus. They turn in the guy who scammed, the doctor who scammed Faye, who was worth like $50, and they turned in Teddy Bomber, which I believe got them a good amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think of all of them, I think they deserve the Teddy Bomber the most, because, like...
Andy.
Yeah, God.
Spike
Oh my God, wait, no, can we talk about that episode? Just solely
No,
so
just-
I can mention the fact that that voice actor is Timmy Turner's dad.
Really?
It is!
Wow.
I'm pretty sure.
He's Dad Turner.
Wait, let me Google this. I feel like this is the second time we've had this voice actor.
I don't think so.
I know we've definitely had times where we've been like, yeah, this voice actor is so and so, and we're just like, huh?
No, I have another good one. I have another good one from this show. Ed.
Yeah, it's Darren
It's-
Norris. He's
Wait.
the dad from Fairly Odd Parents, and he's the janitor from Ned's Declassified.
Wait, really?
Yeah. And he's also Andy from Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Connor, you were gonna say Ed. Who's Ed?
Ed is Neptune from Hyperdimension Neptunia.
So
It's
that's a
really
fun one for
noticeable.
you.
They play the
And-
same character.
And Spike is
They're both
literally
quirky and
everybody ever.
useless. Not really.
I know, I'm
Well,
joking.
you know his voice though. You know
mean,
Steve
Steve
Bloom when
Steve
you hear
Bloom
him.
is in a lot of stuff.
He's a big deal, but I wouldn't say he's everyone.
He's like additional voices in a ton of video games. It's really funny. I looked him up on like IMDb once, and it was just like, yeah, he's in BioShock Infinite. He does the voice for the animatronic fucking like enemies that shoot like the Gatling guns at you, and I'm like, oh, cool.
So specific.
Yeah, but like I remember that enemy type specifically because they were really annoying to fight. But anyways,
In episode 1, there is like the little scene where Spike is disguised with the poncho and sombrero,
Oh my
which has
god.
the same energy as Raiden in Metal Gear Rising wearing the poncho and sombrero, where it's just like,
Yeah.
so it's such a dumb disguise, but I love it every time I see it.
Oh, it's such a. Who were you fooling? Like,
this works
Who
better in my
dresses
brain than
poncho
it
and
did.
sombrero? well, it worked for Spike.
Yeah, sure.
And then, oh yeah, in
Um,
episode 2, is the first time we see Big Shot, and I'm just like immediately
Big
love it.
shot.
The show,
Punch and Judy.
it's so good.
Big shot is
And
great.
like how that's just like it's almost a constant thing for most of the show.
Big Shot's the show, right?
Yeah,
The bounty, yeah, and they go fucking
The
out of
bounty
business.
it's so good.
Did you guys notice that when Big Shot went out of business in Brain Scratch, the episode after, the dude who's
Yeah, it's in where
Oh yeah,
Phases
like he.
work, and the one host is like picking up his mother,
Yeah, no, that was
Yeah,
in
this-
I think Real Folk
and we get
Blues
like
Part
basically
1.
an ending for these like long running side characters. I really did like that.
I think also in the movie they reference the fact that the show's not doing that well because they're like, somebody
They
call us,
do,
and they have
yeah.
like a whole like call center thing, and not a single person is calling.
yeah, and they get angry.
Well,
Yeah,
it's because nobody knew anything about the stuff going on in the movie.
yeah.
But yeah,
Because he's dead, because the movie didn't really happen. We'll get to that.
What?
get into
Okay.
it. Wait, just a second. Yeah.
Okay, so episode 2, I have some interesting notes that I'm just gonna say them. Roach in drink, yowie hands.
No.
Those are things that happen in this episode. There was a scene where the villain, Hakim, slams a roach, throws it into an alcoholic beverage, and then forces someone to drink it.
Hmm.
And he has giant hands.
Yeah, Hakeem is just a giant man.
Also, the doctor in that episode, who comes back in Real Folk Blues, has Cinderella from JoJo. And you can't tell me otherwise.
I don't remember which one that was.
That's the face
Plastic
switchy.
surgery stand.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
It's been a
that's
while since
when
I've seen this episode.
Nine,
So.
who is a like super enhanced, intelligent corgi, the best boy in the world.
I don't
it's
know
all-
what audio clip they use for like every single bark of that dog, but I love it every single time I hear it. It's just like it feels like it's like compressed or something, and it's just like "Arr!" It's so good.
Also, it's so funny when Spike has his "I hate kids and pets" line when you know full well that eventually Ed is going to join the crew.
Hmm.
He hates children, pets, and women without attitudes.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it
It's
was.
just like, and then literally the next episode
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
preview is, "Hey, Faye's joining the crew."
That's like an Always Sunny like title card. Like, I'll never have this, and then it's like the gang gets this.
Faye doesn't even join in episode 3, too.
Oh yeah, another thing I noticed
Oh,
is
yeah.
that Hakeem's code name is Snoop because he's an animal dog thief.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Well, yeah, his code name is Snoop, and I'm just like, get it, because he steals animals, including, in this case, dog. Da-na.
And yes,
I would
Yeah.
I would say episode 2 isn't terribly notable besides Ein.
Yeah.
But what I did
I didn't
notice
like
is
fun
that
chase sequence shenanigans.
the side characters, throwaway side characters, have horrible dubs. Like, really bad.
I mean, like, the only other noticeable side characters I can think of is, like, there's the 3 old men who show up all the time.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I forgot about them.
They're, like,
Yeah.
all the time. They're just, like, wherever somebody from the Bebop crew is, the old men are there. They're even in the movie. They're
I remember
actually,
them
like,
the most in the
partially
movie.
a little bit integral to the movie.
They save people's lives in the movie. Which made me angry because it was kind of dumb. But we'll,
I mean,
we'll
like-
get to that.
It wasn't just them in the movie, so you know.
It was mostly them.
Oh, was it? I don't remember.
It was pretty much exclusively them.
I thought there was
actually.
other freaking prop planes.
They show a ton, but they do not show who is piloting them.
Yeah. So like I thought it was just implied that there was more people.
I don't know who it would be though.
Well, it can't be
Whatever.
nobody.
Okay, alright. But,
So episode 3 introduces
So-
Faye. I think it's a really neat episode. It starts the running gag of people smoking where they're not supposed to, and also people piloting small spaceships where they shouldn't be.
yeah.
Nah, it's fine. Just
Within
the
that
needle.
episode, Spike both swallows a cigarette and then he later swallows the poker chip.
Well, he doesn't actually swallow it.
Yeah, but you
It's
you
like
think he does.
It's like Bubble Bass in SpongeBob.
It was under
And
his
then
tongue the
there's-
whole time.
Like in that episode, you get your first hint that Faye's really old, and you're like, huh?
They actually hint at that.
Like-
I rewatched that episode and they're like, "You're a really good-looking granny," and I'm like, "Yeah, she's like
You're like-
70."
Wow,
You're
I
like,
didn't
you're
realize
really good
that.
For like 200, like I think the guy says something like 200 plus years old or something. And I'm like, huh?
He's talking about a famous gambler. I rewatched this part because I was
Yeah.
interested in my note. Named Poker Alice, who was
Yeah.
200 years old or something. But
But that's like
no,
your
Faye
first
is-
hint that Faye's not as
Faye is.
young as she appears.
I did the math on her age. I believe she's around 70.
She
But the
would
thing Stevie
be.
wonders of.
When does the show take place again?
She's 74 years old.
When does the show take place, though?
The 2070s.
So yeah, she'd be like
2071.
alive right now.
Yeah, she would be alive and well currently because she got
No, it says the
cryogenic
accident
freezing.
happens like within the 2010s, I think.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. So she because she was like a kid.
I thought it was the gate accident.
No, it's a different accident.
No, yeah, it's
We
Oh,
see
he
it
was
when she
independent.
gains her memory later.
because she was
Oh,
like
it's
12
2010.
or something when she like looked 12 or whatever in the tape. I don't know.
I think she was supposed to be like 18. She was about out of high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell in anime.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
and there's like the mix up where a guy who looks sort of like
Oh my
Spike ends up
God.
like getting killed because
yeah,
they mix up the chips.
Spike is just unnecessarily difficult with one poker chip
Yes.
for no reason.
And on that topics, all of Spike's fight scenes are great.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's so fluid in his fights. He's just like using whatever is around him to his advantage, and just
Yeah.
like he's like so effortless about it. A lot of the times, he's just like hand behind his
All
back,
the
you know.
Kicks look great. I mean, like I'd say, obviously the Bruce Lee influence. I mean, he literally recites the "Be Like Water" speech later.
Oh yeah,
And there's the poster for it in Real Folk Blues. There's a Bruce Lee poster.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not only the fact that he's like doing it so effortlessly. It's like when he's fighting, that's him. That's him like alive. Like that's where he has the most fun, you know.
Well, yeah,
He's
that's
getting
that's
fucked.
when he's looking through his left eye.
Oh, that's a late reference.
Wow, I was just like, oh,
I forgot that was a plot point until today. I really did.
it doesn't
And then,
seem like that it's that important.
I think it's a big deal, personally, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. The
So
dog fights are all cool. Like,
Oh yeah,
you can tell there's a lot of like love and effort put into any of the flying sequences.
and budget.
Yes, lots of
Oh, yeah.
money.
They got that Gundam money. They're good.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
so good.
The swordfish's laser cannon is so cool.
Oh yeah.
Because one
I
of my
love it every
first
time I see it.
experiences with Cowboy Bebop is like I was just messing around with some ROMs. I mean, legally obtained files. I found the Cowboy Bebop PS1 game, and it was just like I think it was like a Star Fox clone where you're just in the ship, and it was so cool looking, but I couldn't get the emulator to work right. But what I saw, the little of it that I saw, looked really cool, and it was just the ships flying around. The ship designs in this show is great.
Yeah, they do a lot of fun stuff with it in the movie. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because again, like the movie is just, hey, it's an episode with movie length and a budget, and
Yep.
it shows, especially in that dogfight scene.
Oh yeah.
I've completely forgot
Okay.
there's an episode about eco-terrorists turning people into monkeys.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's episode
was
4,
like-
Gateway Shuffle.
For a moment there, I was just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And then I flipped through all the episodes. I'm like, "No, that happens."
That's episode 4.
I would say the only good thing that comes out of this episode is that the Bebop crew fails.
Oh yeah.
The military solves it.
Yeah, the military solves it. And then
They
the eco-terrorists
alter
are
the
just
gate.
trapped in hyperspace forever with the virus.
The Bebop crew effectively does nothing in this episode.
Okay, and it also is a good one for like world building because it explains, hey, here's how the hyperspace works.
They introduce Jet's cop
It's
friend.
just another dimension.
Also Faye joins.
Yeah.
But it's an alright episode. I think it has the song Doggy Dog, which is one of my favorites. It's great. They use it a lot.
So.
And then 5 is one of the is the first of our big plots.
Ballad of
where
Fallen
Vicious
Angels.
is introduced.
Again, Vicious. Come on. Come on.
Edge.
It was the late 90s.
I mean, it's like a little cool, but like
It's not.
I mean, it's like cool and I don't know, but it's just like I'm watching this and I'm like,
In
wow.
retrospect, not cool.
I was like just watching this. I'm like, wow, this probably was the absolute shit when it came out, and now it's just
I'm trying
like
to think.
everything else was it for a while.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was the name of the villain in Trigun? Wasn't it
Knives.
Yeah, it was Knives.
They're
which-
all like freaking like stab words.
Knives Millions.
Jesus.
That is the era we were talking about here.
Man, it feels like a Sega character, Tails Miles per Hour or something like that.
And it's like at this point we learn that like that even though Spike and Jet are pals and partners, they really don't know a lot about each other and haven't really talked much about each other.
They basically know nothing about each other.
They know nothing other than the fact that they're probably not going to kill each other.
They're not.
Yeah.
There's a can of Pepsi, but instead it says Pippu.
Oh yeah, forgot the fake products in this show.
There's a
Pippu.
surprising amount of fake
This is-
products. They do
I-
McDonald's.
Yeah,
in
I
the
think this
movie.
is the origin of McDonald's.
The movie, I was so excited when I saw McDonald's.
I think this is the origin of McDonald's.
They also do Sanny.
Yeah, Sandy was the other
What's
one.
Sandy?
That's in the
Sandy
late
was-
episode.
Oh, Sony, yeah. Oh, that was for their
Sandy was
Betamax
in
I lost my
episode.
mind when I saw McDonald's.
Oh my god, I
was
just
so
realized
happy.
that their Betamax episode was like a lot more relevant.
That episode. That was Speak Like a Child. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I like that episode, but I really have to like put aside my suspension of disbelief in the fact that nobody understands how tapes work at this point. Because they clearly have an internet,
remember,
but
the Earth got destroyed.
that's like the only real excuse I have for it. But like the internet still exists.
Literally, the entire Earth was destroyed, Max.
I know, but the internet is still
Like the records don't exist.
but
Japan is underwater.
but the internet doesn't need. I don't know.
It's also a different internet structure.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
We can assume ours was like destroyed in the 2020s.
Oh,
you
damn,
I
know.
just
guys,
know a
look
lot
out.
about analog video. That's all. I know more
Disaster
than
coming up soon.
I know more than any one sane normal person should care about analog video, and that's pretty much my only argument against why them not being able to get a beta player didn't really matter. But it's the MacGuffins for the episode, so I don't really care.
Okay, well let's take it back a good 10 episodes back to Ballad of Fallen Angels.
With
I-
Ballad of Fallen Angels. Which one?
This episode's alright.
Wrong show.
What?
I thought we said Knives for a second.
Yeah, Ballad of Fallen
Um,
Angels. Good fun church shootout.
It had that one song that I
they-
swear I've heard in some other video before, and I
Rain.
cannot. What?
Oh, you mean Evergreen?
I think so. Yeah.
The scene where he's falling
Yeah, that
through
one.
the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Evergreen.
I feel like
That's a
I've
good
like
one.
seen something that referenced it before, and I don't know what it was.
You've told me you've seen it in memes before.
I think I saw it only in like one meme though, and I don't know what it is. It's another thing to freaking Dead Leaves. And I did find out, I don't know if I mentioned this, in Dead Leaves, I did find out that the song in Dead Leaves that I was going crazy about was indeed in a Half-Life 1 map called G Invasion. So there's some stupid fact that I have to share with the world.
There's little relation to what we're discussing now.
Look, it doesn't matter.
I know,
I have 2 notes on this episode still. They have the song Rain, which is one of my favorites off the soundtrack. But what bothers me is that on the soundtrack, which the soundtrack has way more songs than they actually use. So if you're interested in the music of the show, go listen to the whole soundtrack. It's crazy. It's really long. But they play the song Rain in this episode. There are 2 versions. There's male vocals and female vocals. They use the female vocals. I hate the female vocals. They're awful. The male vocals are way better.
I haven't heard it, so.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. And also, they do a flippin' Weekend at Bernie's where they have a dead man attend an opera. Just to trick Faye.
Oh my god, you're right. Wait, are you sure you're thinking about the same episode? Because I swear that wasn't until the second Vicious episode.
No, I have Faye sneaks into the opera on episode 5 because that's how she gets caught, and that's why Spike goes to the church.
All right, because I know like there's the second time he shows up. It's like it has to take place because you keep talking all the time about it's episodic. It can happen in whatever order, sort of to an extent. But I'm like, no, the second Vicious episode has to happen after the first because Faye sees Vicious and is like, oh shit, it's Vicious.
Man, I'm looking at the episode list right now, and I'm looking at the next one, and I'm like, wow. That's also a little, like, edgy.
The next episode's great, though.
I mean, I think it was pulled off better, but it's just, like, just out of context, it's like this 80-year-old child man.
Okay, yeah, Sympathy for the Devil has some fun stuff. There's, the stuff where, like, Spike, where, actually, okay, wait, no. I'm actually having, like, retroactive thoughts.
Go on with your thought.
Like, there's the, like, sequence where it's like, is it a dream or is Spike some sort of science experiment? And now looking back,
oh
no, that's him recovering from the first time he got fucked up. Because you see his eye getting replaced and shit.
Oh my god, I remember that now. Wow.
And and that's fucking episode 6. That's 20 episodes.
I think it's half supposed to be that, and half supposed to represent how the child is parallel to Spike.
Yeah.
Someone who should have died in an accident or
this is the first time we see the sunglasses, the bounty-seeking sunglasses that Spike has.
And no, you see it in the eco-terrorism episode.
Yeah, but I
love weird like national treasure glasses that he's got.
Yeah,
he uses them twice in the movie.
There's the scene where Faye says, "We girls have to be pampered because we're delicate and refined," and then she starts just snarfing down dog food. It's great.
The Bebop women are cryptids, and you can't convince me otherwise.
Oh, speaking about women, I just wanted to mention that the show like has actual diversity.
Yes.
Which is amazing for 2001 or 1998.
Like, Watanabe is very big on in his work.
Like, because like a lot of shows, I don't want to sound like insensitive or whatever, but a lot of shows will like have like black people in it, but it'll just be like a white person that they turn black. You know, I don't know. Does that sound right? Like this like draws people correctly, like how they would look in real life. I don't know.
I think the biggest example of what you're talking about is the opening song to the movie. It's just like New York. Like they're just people.
Yeah.
Good. You should watch other Watanabe shows like Carol and Tuesday.
Yes.
I'm gonna plug that as much as possible.
In time.
It's going on Netflix.
My like one sentence description of this episode: Spike one shots an immortal child with an infinity stone.
Do you know?
Jesus Christ!
Do you know what?
Boss, you killed a child. What?
He does. It's a fucking. The ring is an infinity stone, and he shoots the kid with it.
the only time when shooting a kid is the correct and humane thing to do.
Yes.
Also, he does the bang at the end with harmonica.
Yes, that's the first time he does the bang, where he
It's
tosses the
good.
harmonica up into the air.
Yeah, first of two.
Yes.
Yep.
It's a good episode. It's very sad.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense now. That he does bang in
What?
that episode. Too.
Yeah, because he's representing someone who's undead finally dying.
Wow.
And oh yeah, no, after watching the finale, the movie makes way more sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like that's like
Well,
what hit me immediately. Like the second Spike
Yeah.
started talking about dreams and stuff, I was like, oh fuck. The movie makes so much more sense now.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense to watch the
Because
whole
it came out
series and then
later,
the
so of
movie.
course then
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
2
if you
years
watch it
later,
in that-
2 or 3.
So I
One
guess-
theme I know.
Oh,
One
sorry.
theme I noticed a lot in the show was brotherhood and the bond between two men. Usually,
Yeah.
they do it a lot with Jet and Spike, especially near the end, where they don't talk about the problems, but they find other ways, usually through food. And then you have in this episode, you have Zebra and Giraffe, which they focus a lot on their relationship, and they're like, why are they fighting each other? What's up with this? It's wrong. It's wrong for veteran buddies to be fighting each other. And then you get to the end and it's like they're like this is against their will. It's kind of horrible. Oh, there's a couple more I had listed, but we'll get to those. So yeah.
The preview for Heavy Metal Queen is Spike, Jet, and Faye like
Oh, yeah.
definitely shouting over blaring metal music.
Man, I really
the-
wish I got to see these.
Oh, it's so fun.
The one metal song they play, and there is only one. It's called Live in Baghdad, and I love it. It's crazy.
I think
It's
I
so
remember it.
unnecessary. Oh yeah, they
I think
play
it was
the
just
whole
like a
episode.
guitar solo though that I remember.
Okay, wait, no. The one good note I have, one of my good notes I have for this one is, oh boy, Spike's hungover and Faye is at Chuck E. Cheese's.
Yeah,
Yes.
this episode is. I love this episode. It's not one of my
VT
favorites.
is a
but
boss.
Space truckers are amazing.
Space
Come
trucker.
Come on. Wait, that's Deep Purple. Deep Purple, they invented metal. It's circular. I don't know what that means.
Okay,
Don't think about
Um,
that too much. I wasn't putting that much thought into that sentence.
you get to see all these different space trucks, and they all look so fun and like so
Yes.
much personality. Even the bad guys is just explosives.
Yes, no, my one note in all caps, we got space truckers, baby.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, it's so good.
Can I get Space Desert Bus?
Also, Spike just fucking jumps out into space.
He does.
Don't think
and
about
he's
it.
Fine.
He puts in
holds
some
his breath.
earplugs and holds his breath.
It's like Star Wars logic, you know, just people can live in space as long as they don't try to breathe.
Just hold your
Also,
breath.
this starts the theme, which is also in Space Dandy, of the target unceremoniously dying.
Oh yeah.
He just blows up.
Shit
I
happens.
love VT. I love VT in this episode. She's great.
So, do you want to get into the whole like side story stuff?
I didn't
with
get a
these-
chance to read that.
It's okay. The problem is it's hosted on the promotional site made for the movie. They made a side story, air quotes, explaining VT's husband and what he was up to. I read it, but it seems like only the first part is available in English. I couldn't find anything else.
There's
And
no like
also, the
translate this
website
page on
doesn't
Google.
exist anymore. You need Wayback Machine to find it.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. And the Wayback Machine is inconsistent. It doesn't have the full site.
Yeah.
But I read it. It looks like it's really well written. It's really interesting. I'd love to read more, but it's it's been over 15 years. But his whole thing is that he was a journalist who got he got fired and then accidentally turned into a bounty hunter, kind of.
How do you accidentally get turned into a bounty hunter?
Don't think about it.
He gets fired and then gets a job as finding
okay.
people.
Okay.
It's neat.
He's like, he thinks he's signing up to be like a private investigator or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. It's not much to talk about.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah,
you
Heavy
read
Metal
it,
Queen is
Mitch? What
strong.
do you think?
I liked what I could get out of it, because again, the Wayback Machine's kind of inconsistent, but
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's not like a little tiny thing. It's a full story.
Well, it's like 5 pages.
Still,
The
they
part
could
I
have done
read.
way
anyway.
less.
Yeah. Or they could have just explained it in the episode.
Yeah.
This is the part where I wrote a note that Watanabe has openly stated that he was heavily inspired by Lupin III, which, yeah, he was. And I wrote down in my notes, yeah, pretty much.
Well, Spike has definitely got that kind of same like energy that Lupin has.
I would say Spike is half Lupin, half Goemon. He's
Yeah.
very samurai.
Yeah. To you, Space
But
Samurai.
he can like turn on a dime. Like he can go from the very relaxed and complacent kind of Goemon type, and then it's the action all the time, running around Lupin.
He's fun loving like Lupin, but he's very good at fighting and serious like Goemon.
Mm-hmm.
Jet is very Jigen. Faye is just so Fujiko, like 100%.
Mm-hmm.
She even has a few episodes where she works with the enemy because she wants money.
So, are we gonna go over the whole next set of episodes, or are we just gonna do next or whatever we want?
Episode 8 is one of my favorites, so I want to talk about it.
All right.
It is Waltz for Venus. It starts with a great hijacking where Spike tries to sleep through it.
I know, and the criminals they catch on the flight are Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And I just like that, where it's just like, oh, good goofy reference in there.
Mm-hmm. I had a note that the villain is CeeLo Green, because he is.
I don't know that name.
You don't know CeeLo Green?
Is that an artist?
You would know him
You
the
don't know
second
his
you
one
see it.
song?
What's his one song?
Say it, Mitch.
Fuck you.
I don't. Oh wait. Oh, that one. Okay, the one that's
Yeah,
"Forget
it's
You"
a
on
good
the radio
song.
edit. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is the episode where Spike recites the "Be Like Water" speech.
Yeah. But he tells it to this great character, Rocco, who I love. I love this man.
I
know.
My brain went to Rocco for Mega 64 for a second there.
Yes.
Great
I know.
character,
No, I think it's
Rocco.
pronounced Rocco.
What were you saying, Mitch?
It's pronounced, at least I remember it being pronounced Rocco.
It has been literally like a month since I've watched that episode. I'm sorry.
Fair. But yeah.
But anyway, this character is just so full of life and so like clearly a good person who got.
This is the one trying to help out his blind
one
friend.
of the most like heartfelt episodes, where it's like
It was
who is legitimately doing a good thing in this episode.
But this guy is trying to help his sister, who is blind. But what's so sad about it is that he dies, and he dies happy because he just pulled off the defense, the Aikido. That,
He knows that he's
Spike taught
basically
him.
ensured her recovery.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, okay, I secured the plant. I defended myself. I became a good person. He self-realized, you know.
Yeah.
But that childish happiness, and then he just gets shot. It's like,
It
no.
hurts, yeah.
It's so sad.
This is one of the episodes
always-
that does the darker stuff really well. It's just
Where
like
it's just like this is still to some extent the real world. and
it's like
things are not always happy.
a lot of stuff in this show is fun and games, but like the line of work they're in, it's like not fun and games, you know.
The end of the episode is it hits so hard because you find out that his sister was comfortable as she was. She really adapted to the blindness well and was fine. You know,
Yeah.
it's good.
Oh yeah,
I think
definitely
it's
very
another
good.
episode where Spike sees a person who's a lot like him, someone who constantly puts himself in the line of fire, who keeps trying to make things right,
Yeah.
but just can't.
I feel like Spike's the kind of person that like will say they're not a hero or anything like that.
When
and
he
try
totally
not
is.
to be heroic, but like internally deep down their actions are just.
Yep.
Then in the episode
And then we
preview
get
for episode
Tono.
9, the second I hear Cats on Mars, I know that it's Ed time. And I'm like, oh yeah, here we go.
Tonal whiplash straight into Ed.
It's so good.
The lyrics of that song are very weird. I believe it's an English-French mix. So it's really
Yeah.
awkward.
I
It's good.
remember hearing it, and I was just like,
symbols into the planet Earth.
It's flipping Hal doodling.
Yeah, it is.
I was just like, that's where this song comes from. Because
Wait,
I heard it
really?
in
You've
other
heard it?
stuff. I've heard it in other stuff
a
before.
bunch of memes and stuff.
Yeah, it's used in like random like background.
It's real isopod hours.
Yeah, that's what it's from. Oh my god.
I like Chicken Bone from the Mushroom episode better.
That one's another.
I gotta hear that one to know what it was.
Because you posted
okay.
it before.
I have a note from episode 9. Why did Faye have to bring up otaku feet?
I'm sorry, what?
Huh?
There's a line early in the episode where they're talking about hackers, and
Oh yeah,
I
and
believe-
Faye just says otaku.
I believe she specifically says, "I bet it's an otaku with smelly feet," and I'm like, "What? What?" Hmm?
I don't know, Faye. You're the one that thought about it.
Judging.
I'm gonna be real. It's probably like a weird translation, but like still.
But also think about this. Faye doesn't understand society right now. She's from the 2010s.
Well, the 2010s is when that term started being used. So
I mean,
earlier
no,
than that.
but-
I
Probably.
mean, yeah, earlier than, but still.
But also, I really love that in this universe, just the internet is an ocean that you VR dive into.
No, I think that's just Ed's.
I think
UI.
Still, it's really neat.
I can never
Well,
tell
no,
because
like,
whenever you have
It
these
says like a term that implies that this isn't just an Ed thing. This is like a.
I'm pretty sure it's just Ed, actually.
Okay.
I have no idea if like whenever Ed's on the computer, if she's like it shows like weird like interfaces and stuff like that. I never know if it's either just like for the show's sake, just a weird way of showing the viewer what's going on, if it's actually how the internet looks, or if it's specifically how Ed views the internet, or if it's just how Ed's internet looks.
I always viewed it as Ed modified her UI to look her UI and OS and browser and whatever to look like that. That's how I always saw it.
I like to think it's like
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah, that just Ed messed with it to be like this.
Ed is so
Because
good at
they-
hacking and also just decided to program some UI just to show off. She's in the
Radical
demo
Edward.
scene.
I mean, they explained in the beginning of the episode that the reason she's so good at hacking is because she hacked old, broken down Earth supercomputers for fun. That's a thing.
Yeah.
What else?
She was
And
also
then,
she
I mean,
literally
at
just
the end,
awakened
she
the AI of a
remote controlled-
satellite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and it's Hal just who's like, damn, I miss the old days back before Earth got fucked up. I'm gonna draw.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah,
then,
this is the one where they found out the satellite. They found out the bounty that they're looking for happens to be this satellite that's been drawing pictures on Earth, and then they legally can't even turn it in for a bounty because they're not people.
That's great. Yeah.
And
I do
then
love like the sequences where it's like Big Shot and they explain that just like whoops womp womp didn't work. Great.
yeah, um,
And then that's also like at the end, Ed remote controls the Bebop back so that they can't leave without her, and thus the crew is complete. It just,
you know what Ed does at the end that kind of bothers me?
Hmm.
She claims South America.
Don't question it.
She marks South America with herself.
With her the Ed face, yeah.
It's hers now.
South America belongs to Ed.
And it is implied that Ed was living in South America, but when they go back near the very end in what is it, Hard Luck Woman?
Yeah.
They are around Florida, I believe. They're on the Gulf. Which is interesting. That those are the places where people still live.
Oh yeah, I also
Because
love
people will
how
always live in Florida. It's Florida. They don't care about reason.
Florida man can't be stopped.
No, Faye is Florida woman.
Oh no!
Oh,
no!
no. Oh no!
Wait,
no,
now
no.
we're gonna have 2 Florida women in anime.
What was the other
Soon.
one? What?
You'll see.
Okay.
Mitch
Yeah,
knows. Mitch knows.
Do
Right?
I?
Do I have
What?
to say it? It's Jolene. It's the next JoJo.
Oh yeah, duh. JoJo.
Oh.
It's a JoJo reference. But oh yeah, I forgot. I wanted to talk about how just like I love that whenever the Bebop lands in like a watery area, it's just a boat.
Oh yeah. Well, also
I
just
love
the
that it just
freaking animation
functions
flex.
as a boat.
The animation flex every time they land, and they do with the water, and it's so good looking.
Oh yeah, where it just billows out to the sides.
Yeah.
It looks great. Episode 10. We start with Ed being a weirdo who somehow is able to do like a perfect jungle cat roar, and then she bites a guy.
Yes.
Ed rubbing her face on Faye's thighs is a big mood, to be honest. Just gonna say it. You all
Yeah.
thought it too. Don't act high and mighty and above this. But the real thing about this is Ganymede Elegy, which is our first like jet episode.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized that there are 2 really weird scenes with Faye and Ed. Because Faye straight up like mouth kisses Ed later.
Yes.
That's a thing. I don't know why that happens. I still don't get that scene. I'm still confused.
I don't think it was meant in that way.
You never know. Anyway, episode 10.
Shit, oh my god, I just
love-
remember there's a football player. It's a stupid, unrelated fact, but there's some football player, I think it's Peyton Manning, like, mouth kisses their son. I don't remember.
That's Tom Brady.
Tom Brady? Okay. It's just, I don't know why that popped
I
in my
hate
mind. What?
I hate that I know what you're talking about.
But like, I really love the scenery on Ganymede because it's so like oceanic.
Ganymede's
and
lovely.
It's like so different from the rest of the places that we've seen up to that point, where it's just
They
like,
don't go
it
to
looks
Ganymede.
really cool.
I think they go there twice?
I think they go there again, but it looks incredible.
It looks great. And Jet's story is really it's kind of basic, but it's powerful.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
I love the chase scene with the hammerhead and the little boat. They
Yeah.
play a song called
Oh,
Elm,
is this
and
the
it's-
one-
Oh, it's so
Okay,
so
now
good.
I remember I had in my notes that I really liked this episode. I could not right now. I was like at a loss. Is this the one where the guy's trying to run away because he thinks that Jet's going after him?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
No,
he
yeah.
is.
This episode made
Well,
me
he
tear up
is.
a little bit. It was really good.
Oh yeah, I just remembered they do apprehend him and turn him in this episode, don't they?
But yeah, this is
Yes.
this guy. Yeah, I forgot what he did. He had a run in with like
killed
a
a guy.
gang, or he killed somebody.
Yeah, he
No.
killed him.
No, what happens is his girlfriend, who is Jet's ex, borrows money from a loan shark and can't repay.
Yeah.
So his name is Rent, which is a bad name.
They can't pay their
He-
rent.
Shut up.
I'm sorry.
He's
right, though.
goes with her to beat with the loan shark and eventually kills him in self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's what it was. And like, he's worried because all the, he ran away, so he's got a bounty on his head, so he thinks he's going to get killed over it. But he's running for his life, and he's like on a path to get himself killed just running from the law at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rewatched the chase scene today because I remember it being really powerful, and it still is. And they give you point of view shots of him, and it's him moving the wheel on the boat like frantically, like he's panicking so hard. It's good. But then at the end, we get a great philosophy shift from. We've had so many Spike focused episodes where I think that Spike would not have called the cops on Rent. I think he would have let him go or something. Because Spike's surprisingly nice with these things.
Yeah.
But when we get Jet, yeah, you're going to the cops. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
just
not being
like
nice.
philosophy was like, if you keep running from the law, the cops are just going to get more pissed off at you, and they're going to kill you. If you turn
as is
yourself in
mentioned
now,
in the show,
you're going to be fine.
like as
And
is mentioned
Spike-
in the show, he's the black dog who once he bites, he never lets go. That's the
Yeah.
whole
And
thing.
Spike was literally in a crime syndicate.
Yeah.
Yes.
With no issues.
Yeah, the more I think
Spike
about
is
it, they were
probably-
completely opposites of each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Ex gang member and ex cop.
Cop.
And they all wanted out for the same reason. Or kind of.
Just sick of.
They're
They
sick
were
of
just
it.
sick of how things were.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're doing a noir voiceover, and I hate it. Stop.
It was just another... I can't.
It was a cold glass of water.
Oh my god.
Blade Runner over unnecessary.
I gotta find
voiceover.
some like throwaway dialogue from like Max Payne or something like that, because it's the perfect dialogue.
Well, no, Blade Runner, the one is so memeable because it doesn't fit with the movie at all. It's
Oh,
terrible.
yeah.
It was edited in. It's so bad.
What was
Um,
that in all of the cuts? Was that only like in the theater cut?
No, it was in I
Yeah,
believe
yeah.
the original theatrical, and people hate it.
Yeah.
Alright, so moving on. Episode 11, Toys in the Attic.
Episode 11,
This is the
I
one
like
where I
this
was like,
one.
you could have left this one.
No,
I
this
get
is
it,
like a
it's the
filler
alien
episode
sci-fi
that's fun.
horror. You're doing a riff on Alien, but it's
Okay.
like you didn't need to do.
Okay.
This one
but
feels the most like unneeded.
I think for what it's worth, if you look at the timeline, this is right after Ganymede Elegy, which is, a pretty heavy-handed story, and then before the Jupiter Jazz two-parter.
So you kind of.
This is a very necessary episode if you look at it in
You do
context
need
like
a
that.
palate cleanser. That's
This
fair.
is like a filler episode, but I loved it. I thought it was fun.
But also, this is the equivalent to the Space Dandy and Samurai Champloo episode where everyone dies.
I loved that one. I
Because
forgot
pretty
about
much-
that. That was the fucking... There was 2 episodes of Samurai Champloo where everybody fucking dies. There's one where like half the cast dies, and then there's one where like an asteroid hits Earth or some shit.
What?
Yeah.
I think Space Dandy has 3. There's one, the very first episode they die at the end, and there's a zombie episode, and then there's one I believe where they go into a disco singularity. That's a thing.
I just remember in Samurai Champloo they have a baseball episode where people fucking die.
Good.
But
I
yeah,
didn't
this
get that
is.
far.
But yeah, the alien is just food Spike left in the fridge.
Yeah.
Well, okay. The thing that bothers me about that is that they never actually confirm that it was the lobster that Spike left in there.
I mean, he recognizes the scent because it's like he keeps cooking food with a flamethrower, which is such a bad idea because you know what the flame from flamethrowers is. It's fucking
It's
gas.
fine. It's fine.
He's just spraying gas on his food.
Also,
Yeah, just put
I
some
think it's
kerosene
bad
with that.
No, and we
I think it's
open with
bad to
Jet and Faye playing strip poker,
Oh,
my
yeah!
god, they did.
and Jet is just completely
No.
losing.
No, I'm pretty sure that Jet is just betting his clothes. I
Yeah,
don't think it's strip poker.
but it's effectively what it ends
Well,
up being.
I mean, I don't think they have any money at this point.
They don't.
They never have money. I
They
don't know
never
what
do.
That's why they don't have food. Except for the food that's
mean,
been left in the
Faye-
fridge.
Faye is like massively in debt.
Yeah.
That's like one of her whole story things is that she's owes stupid money.
Okay,
yeah,
I have one note for this episode that just says, I want a VR game of this episode because they're in zero
course you do.
gravity and they're using flamethrowers, alright? That would translate very well.
Okay. I have my I do feel like I have the note where it's like that was a weird episode. Probably could have left that one on the cutting room floor. But the thing that I think kind of saves it is the episode preview is Ed joking that everyone died and the series is over now, and then you in the new show Cowgirl Ed, and everyone's
yeah.
like, "No, Ed, stop it!" Next
Man,
episode's a two-parter.
I gotta go back and just watch like all of
it's
the
hilarious.
endings.
I think one of the soundtracks is called Cowgirl Ed.
It absolutely like saves that episode where it's just like, everybody died. Oh well, show's over.
Well, also you get the confirmation that Ed is a cryptid because she just eats the.
Yeah,
The
she
monster.
does eat the monster. And it's just like, huh. Ed confirmed cryptid.
Okay, now I think we get to.
This is
I
Jupiter
think
Jazz
the-
now.
I think the first episode of Jupiter Jazz has aged very poorly.
Which one is this?
It is
This
the
is-
one with Gren, the hermaphrodite, and Vicious.
And I think this is like,
Oh yeah, this is yeah.
yeah, and Spikes, goes to looking for Julia.
Which, okay. So the things that make this not aged well, all of Vicious, which we already discussed.
Yes.
We see the Native American / Mars guy. We get some homophobia. It's in here. We get some
Yeah.
of that in the movie too, which is a thing. And then we get Gren, which is just it's weird. It's
Yeah.
pretty weird.
I will say though, Gren is kind of like slightly better. I don't want to say he's great, but like he's been wronged. Like
I like Gren's character. I think
Yeah.
he's well written. I like episode 13 a lot, but I'm
You
just saying
think about it
episode
this way.
12.
His character could have been written so much worse.
Oh, it could have been terrible.
Oh yeah.
They could have gone very bad with it, but for what it's worth, it's just like he was like what thrown in prison or something like that and given estrogen or something.
Like
believe
it was a
is what he
drug
said.
or something.
Yeah, he
and
was
it
drugged
messed
and-
with his hormones.
And it was torture. That's the reason he's like that. And it's like against your will. That's awfully fucked up.
Yeah, Gren got a horrible deal. He thought he had that, like I said, that brotherhood bond with Vicious, but Vicious doesn't care because Vicious is a bad person because we established this. Yeah, it's got some good fight scenes. We get Spike in a big coat.
Yeah, Spike in the big
Yes.
coat is the best. Like, there's the good, like, just, like, thing where it's just a picture where it's Spike in the big coat saying, "Do I look like I have money?" Fucking best. Like,
And we also get
Space
Lynn.
steals the AC. Everybody
Oh yeah.
at the start.
I have like one
And they were
note from
like
apparently the
splitting.
beginning of episode 12 is Ed's PC setup is just a pizza box. So apparently that happens. I don't think it's ever mentioned, but Ed's just typing on like a pizza box with a screen in it.
I don't remember that, but okay. We get introduced to Lynn, who is a character who is.
Mitch
I
just
just
posted
posted
the
the,
image of you think I look like I got money? And it's
It's just
it's the
Spike in a
third image.
big coat. It's the best.
I think we can move on. I think the ending of this episode is, the ending of 13, so Jupiter Death Part 2 is
Yeah,
really
like
sad.
it's a whole. It's not real folk blues. It's a whole like unique
No.
credit sequence.
Yeah, and Gren's send off is just ooh,
Yeah.
man. Okay, let's move on. I'm sorry, I don't like Jupiter Jazz that much.
Yeah. Bohemian Rhapsody,
Like I said-
yes, baby. I just have the note. Why did Ed just electrocute herself?
You gotta
Yeah.
know what it does.
I mean, you have to understand. Ed is self-proclaimed like 12.
You know, you gotta learn that the stove is hot to learn that you shouldn't touch the stove.
Yeah, you have to learn. You never know. You don't know it's really hot until you actually touch it.
Yeah. You gotta learn by
You don't know
example.
there's electricity running
Electrocute
through that wire
yourself.
until you electrocute yourself.
I don't have much to say about this episode. It's
This
kind
is-
of neat.
This is a neat little episode. It's just Ed finds this weird chess player through hacking after like some weird cyber terrorism plot, or cyber thief plot rather, and it turns out this guy was playing fucking 4D chess the whole time.
Yeah, he planned an attack 50 years in advance, which is cool. It's an
And
interesting
by time it
concept.
happens, he's old and senile and doesn't remember anything.
And it's explained
Except
that
for
this
playing
guy was the person responsible for engineering the gates, and the gate incident was caused by a known flaw that
he like told them to fix, and they didn't.
And so that's why he's pissed off, and he starts this like just 40 chess end game, like I'm gonna just fuck you guys over 50 years in the future plot. And by the time his thing goes through, he doesn't even like realize what's going on. He's just a senile old man that wants to play chess with random people online.
Yes, it's great. It's one of those episodes where it's like lots of the good world building, and also it's always just nice to see the Bebop crew do something good for somebody, because in the end they
And
like
also-
don't kill the guy, they just leave him be.
Yeah,
Ed
but
keeps playing chess with him.
Okay, Jet refuses perfectly good hush money.
Yeah.
I just need to point that out. There's no reason to refuse that. They're not going to do anything to him. Anything else on that episode? It's all right.
I have like
No, it's a good episode. I really liked it.
one comment that just says like Snake Eater the end. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
The chess player is vaguely similar.
Doesn't he die at the end?
No, he doesn't. He's still alive, and he
Oh.
just keeps playing chess with Ed.
I thought they finished their game and he dies.
That's what I thought, but also,
well,
I
yeah,
mean,
no, there's a scene where they finish the game, and he's, I don't know, it's not sure if he
I
dies
thought I
or if he
remembered
just
him
goes to
dying.
sleep.
I don't
Yeah, I
have
think he
it
does
like
kinda
written that
die.
he dies, but like, I remember something like he might have like fell asleep or something, passed out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
It kind
really
of doesn't
petty
matter
that
if he
dies.
lives or not.
I'm gonna be petty and look it up. Let's go on to the next episode.
All right, this is My Funny Valentine. This is one of the
Faye
big
arc.
Faye ones where we learn about, hey, here's what's up with Faye's past.
Which
And
is a lot.
Crapperoli.
turns out.
She
So,
was in
yeah.
cryostasis for over 50 years
I wrote it down. 54 years apparently.
and was awoken in 2068, which means she was 20 years old when she was put under in 2014.
Yep.
So yeah, 5 years ago, guys, we already have cryostasis.
Yep, it happened. We just don't know about it.
And then she wakes up and she's just in debt immediately.
Yes.
I have $300 million in debt.
And you know what? I'm surprised it's only 300 million.
Okay,
Because
hang on.
hospitals are
Sorry.
bullshit.
I just looked up episode 14 with the chess master. They show a scene at the very end of him finishing the chess game and him slowly closing his eyes. Presumed dead.
Okay,
Okay.
so it's mildly open-ended,
like-
but probably dead.
Yeah, because
Hey,
like
like
he
the whole series.
closes his eyes and then his like parrot
Yeah.
flies away. But yeah, and so she meets this guy who's like her caretaker, Whitney, and they have there's a
You mean
nice
her lawyer?
montage of happy music, and they're
She
falling in
dates
love
her
and
lawyer.
stuff. Yeah, that's
Isn't
her
that, like,
lawyer.
Rule 1 of law school: don't date your
Don't fuck your
Well,
lawyer.
I mean, he's not.
He is a real lawyer. He's just not a good one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's not a good one.
But
He's a bad lawyer for other reasons.
There's like a whole happy montage, and then it's like, oh, we got to get away. They're, the tax collectors are coming to get us. And then there's just a hard cut, and his car presumably explodes, and he presumably dies.
And she inherits all of his debt.
Which is just even more debt than she already had. And she's like telling the whole story to Ein, and the whole time she's outside the bathroom, and Spike hears the whole story while he's taking a dump. It's great.
Yeah, so it's really horror. It's really like a Black Mirror episode where it's this terrifying experience where Faye knows nothing about herself, and anyone who would have known her is dead.
And you wake up in a new place, you don't know who you are, and you're in debt.
Yeah, you owe us money, and it's like, I've been under for half a century.
Excuse me, you owe us a absurd amount of money. I'm sorry, who am I?
Wait, I'm thinking about something now. That episode doesn't take place on Earth, does it?
No, I don't think so.
Damn, we're behind on technology.
How did she move planets?
I guess they transported her.
I mean, presumably it wouldn't be hard if you already froze the person.
I guess.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, no, because we see later her accident. She was in space.
Yeah, she was on Earth, and she went up in a spaceship, presumably.
But then, yeah, later it's revealed Whitney didn't die, and now he's a fat guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then we find out, like, that Faye's name actually straight up comes from My Funny Valentine, the song.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not her real name. Or at least her last name isn't her real name.
I think Faye is her real name.
Yeah, Faye's her real name because there are like because later we meet a character who knew her when she was a kid, and she says Faye, so presumably her last name is just the fake.
I can't confirm.
It's hard to tell because like there's a lot of like episode 15 where it's like what's real and what's not is hard to tell.
I can't.
Like, that's a whole thing with that is like, is Faye just being lied to? We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't confirm. I'm gonna look something up. I've heard that her real name has been confirmed before, but I don't know if I'm being crazy.
If it was, it'd probably be in the VH or the Betamax episode.
Well, it's not.
Is it not? Okay.
No.
I'm looking it up.
All right. The next episode, 16, Black Dog Serenade. I don't remember this one that well.
This is the one where it's like Jet meeting up with his ex-partner to take on Uday, the like assassin from the Syndicate, and we learn like this, like about how Jet lost his arm.
Yeah. I just don't remember much past the plot.
It's like a prison break thing.
What?
This is one of my episodes you could throw out and nothing.
Yeah,
can change, really. It just explains his arm, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't all be winners, but like, I wouldn't say it's a bad episode. It's just a bad Cowboy Bebop episode.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just, hey, Jet's. It's just you learn, hey, Jet's life has been rough.
Yeah. But the next one. Oh man, I love the next one. The next one's fun.
Oh, it's so good. Because this is the Ed and Nine episode.
It's fun.
So fun.
The gang's hungry as fuck.
Just a bunch of goofy side characters and such, yeah. But yeah, the crew has no fuel. Everyone is starving. They're just drifting through space. They eventually crash land on Europa, and then Ed and Nine go out to get some food.
Oh, I just read through my freaking notes. So there's so much good stuff. Ed just like goes to like hitchhiking or something, or she ends up in somebody's trunk and gets somebody arrested. The one woman.
Yeah, she gets one woman arrested. There's the dude who drags around an empty coffin. to put bodies in.
You know
and then
what?
the
You want to know
truck
why I
runs-
carry an
the
empty
truck
coffin
runs it
wherever I
over.
go? Because I'm putting your corpse inside of it, and the fucking coffin is just immediately right then and there run over by a truck.
It's that scene is gold.
I was at work and I was trying so hard not to laugh on break.
And then we get the iconic scene where Ein eats a mushroom and he starts bouncing around.
Okay, drug episodes are always fucking hilarious on these
Yes.
shows.
Ed gets Jet, Spike, and Faye all high on shrooms.
Just to see what happens.
Yeah.
And they just...
She actually like tricks them into it.
Yes. No,
Yes.
she just leaves them out. I mean, technically not tricking
And they're
them.
just
They ate
hey,
them.
food. Nobody's
Oh,
eating
no.
it. And then they eat it, and then they all have trips.
I love seeing how they all like pretend that they're not the first to like, or they're like, huh? Somebody just left these mushrooms out. Well, I don't know. Don't mind if I do. You know.
And then you get like Spike walking up an endless staircase to heaven,
Oh yeah, and he's just standing.
and
in
he's
place.
just walking in place.
Which is
Yeah, like-
also very, very, very like plot relevant.
It is, but
Yes,
it's also
that's
really
actually-
fucking
yeah.
funny.
You have like Faye, like the toilet floods, and she's like swimming in it. And then we don't really see what Jet's
Jet's
doing. He's
just
just kind
looking-
of talking to himself
He's
while
just
doing
talking,
his bonsai.
yeah, to the bonsais, yeah.
We don't like
Um,
actually see what he's doing in his
This
mind.
episode reminded me. This episode reminded me of Michiko and Hachin. Honestly.
Oh yeah.
No, I literally, I
This
have
has
a
that
note that
energy
just
for sure.
says, "Is that Michiko?"
Yeah.
For the one woman.
Yeah.
Because like, and then
Um,
like, especially with the chase sequence,
Yeah,
that is like
Oh, yeah,
such
yeah.
Michiko and Hachin energy to it.
the chase
Which-
sequence is so good in its own right.
It's so fun.
You get you got the one girl that was chasing.
Yeah,
The
there's the
guy
two
that
like
has the
individual bounty
mushrooms.
hunters.
Yeah, there's the guy that had the mushrooms initially.
The guy whose like brother died because of the mushrooms.
That guy that's
We're
trying to get
coffin.
that guy, and then you got Ed, who's just like, I don't even remember what Ed's trying to do.
Ed's Ed learns that there's the bounty and is like, okay, yeah, we're gonna get this guy. Cowgirl Ed time, and then
And they're all on top of a train.
and
Oh, it's
eventually
so
Ed
good.
catches the guy thanks to a cow standing in front of the train.
I want to rewatch this episode now.
And then Ed, the guy's like, no, you can, instead of getting the money, take the mushrooms. And Ed chooses the mushrooms. And then we learn that Ein can talk to cows.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He barks and he like thanks the cow for stopping the train, and the cow's like, no problem.
And they give it subtitles.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Like did they do that with some of the open Pikachu shorts and stuff
I don't
a
know.
long time ago? in
I don't know.
Pokemon?
I remember the ones that you're talking about, but I don't know if they gave them subtitles.
I don't think they gave him subtitles because I like remember there's like a Pokemon Christmas episode where it's all about Pikachu and the rest of the Pokemon just doing stuff.
I mean, that's
But
a
yeah,
lot of them.
no. Still, yeah, the Mushroom
anyway.
Samba is so fun. It's just like
It's good.
it's great.
It doesn't stand out to me a lot, but it is a very good episode.
And yeah, I didn't even realize, but yeah, no, it is so like Michiko and Hachin. Like I didn't make that
Yeah.
connection till you just mentioned it.
Oh yeah, and also well, what's up next?
Next
Oh
up,
cool,
Betamax.
Speak Like a Child.
Speak Like a Child.
Yes. Speak Like a Child
This
is
one starts with a
probably-
good sequence that I really like, where it's comparing Faye losing a horse racing bet to Spike losing a catch while fishing. Where
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, that's a really good parallel.
I would say that on this watch, this is my favorite episode. The scene at the end almost put me in tears, and I rewatched it again today, and it almost put me in tears again because it's so relevant to Faye's arc. And
Oh yeah, this
a
is
lot-
like
a thing.
this is so important. It comes back later in Hard Luck Woman.
Mhm.
Yeah, she rewatches the tape later. But anyway, so this episode, half of it, well, most of it is about this hunt for
A beta player.
a thing. Yeah, a beta deck, which is in drowned or destroyed Japan.
The
That
one
Spike
beta
and
player
Jet-
that's left.
And they literally do not know which is the right one.
You have like Spike and Jet like go to like they get a videotape from a package. We don't know from who. And they're like, oh, it's an artifact from a long time ago, and it's just a VHS tape.
I just love the part where they go to the freaking collector,
Oh, it's so
and
good.
he's just like, "No, you're
Yeah.
ruining it."
The dude is just like a total nerd for 20th century stuff. And then
But also,
That guy's
Spike
me.
and Jet are just horrible.
No, they're
Spike
awful. They fucking
kicks
destroy the
tape
VHS player.
until it's destroyed trying to fix it. It's so funny. He just starts kicking it, and the guy's like in absolute horror as Spike just stomping on it until it's destroyed.
But I
And
think
then
something
Spike just excuses it later, like, "Oh, normally when I kick the ship, it starts working again." So, like, that's
I
just
think-
his way of fixing things.
I think one of the things that makes this episode so powerful is that you think the B plot is Faye. Faye is running around trying to be like, why aren't the boys paying attention to me? I don't need them. But then she's like, yes, I actually do need them. I need their attention and validation to feel happy. And then at the very end,
It's
her
oh no,
own
this
self
was all for Faye.
her own self gives her like a slap to the face, like, stop looking for validation from other people, look for validation from yourself. And the entire scene that's just the tape is
Yeah.
so good.
just-
Yeah.
Faye, her past self giving her a pep talk, and Faye's like in shock because she just doesn't remember anything about her past, and
Yeah, it's
here it
just-
is staring her in the face.
But it's not just like that she would be like disappointed in herself. She's also like kind of also just cheering herself on at the same time.
Exactly.
I mean, she literally gets in a cheerleader outfit.
Yeah.
And it's
but
just
it's
asking,
very-
hey, what's your life like in the future? And it's just like,
And she's like,
oh,
it's shit.
like,
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I recommend you go back and rewatch the tape specifically because it's just
mhm.
it's such a good speech. It ties into what Faye is struggling with throughout the series of validation, finding a place she fits in. And it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
why does she keep on looking for validation from other people? Why?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
It is a key episode, for sure.
It's great. And also, I just looked it up because I was curious if Faye's real name was ever revealed. And it's not. But in the clip, in the tape it shows some major landmarks from Singapore. So that's where she's from. Fun fact. So she's technically Chinese. Yeah.
All right, nice. All right. Then this is the
Ooh.
one where, for the episode preview, is for Wild Horses, where Ein fucking talks, and it's amazing.
This is probably my second pick for episodes that could be thrown out.
Oh, but I like this one, damn.
This is fun.
This is
We meet the guy who made the swordfish, learn that it used to be like a race ship,
this
and
is
then you have the scene
This
where
episode
Doohan and
is-
Miles save Spike from burning up in the atmosphere with a repaired space shuttle Columbia.
that
Oh
is
my
the single
God, the
sole
space
reason
ship.
Which
that
in
this
retrospect
episode
is
is important.
kind of a lot different because remember, this is from 98, 99. The Columbia disaster wasn't until 03.
Oh wow.
But now in retrospect, it's like, oh shit.
Well, I don't. The thing about this episode is just like, I just fucking love the souped up old ass spaceships.
The space shuttle is a great moment.
It's
Also, I
so
like the
funny.
whole thing at the end where like Spike's basically just ready to die at that point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they come in with these fucking hot rod ass spaceships. I don't know. It's great to be. It's one of those things where it feels like it in any other show this would be a filler episode, but the show to me, I like the shenanigans, like, you know,
Yeah.
where it's just stuff happens and
Just
it's fun,
a day in the life type stuff.
but it's
I
just
would
a
say this is
fun
pretty-
ride.
I would say this is pretty far from a slice of life. It introduces Spike's mechanic. It introduces
It gives us origin and backstory on the swordfish.
and it gives us Spike intentionally brushing with death, like, and
Yeah.
loving it.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I think the episode's okay. I think it would be a little bit better if the mechanic who I believe is Doohan.
Yeah.
I think it would be better if he was a recurring character.
I think at its core, Wild Horses is like the most. This is a Cowboy Bebop episode. Like it's just like. I would say it's the least unique, but it's still fun. I don't know.
I would say the least unique is the eco-terrorism one.
Yeah, I guess that one, but I forget that one.
Yeah, I
know,
forget that
yeah.
one too. That's
Well,
why.
because also like I haven't watched the first 5 episodes in longer than the rest of the show.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So then we get to
The next one's weird.
Fu.
Pierrot
man.
LeFou is heavy.
Mad Pierre
and also-
Tong Fu is such a freaky antagonist
Top hat clown dude.
with like infinite armory. He's seemingly
This guy is a
indestructible.
FPS protagonist. He's just got his whole ass arsenal.
He is
Really
literally
good fight choreography in this one.
he is literally a super soldier, but
Yes.
also a child.
Yes,
It's Metal Gear.
like Spike and Pierrot's first fight is great. 'Cause
Oh
it's just
yeah.
Spike
Oh, the
gets his
whole
ass
episode is beautiful.
kicked. Like he literally like fighting game juggles Spike.
Yep, he does.
This episode just gives like a free pass on like just combat because it takes place in an amusement park. Amusement park
my
scenes
God.
are just like
Yeah.
by default rad as hell.
Yeah,
Hey,
like whenever it's like, oh, we're going to an amusement park, it's like, oh, you know they're gonna. have
Yeah.
fun.
It's just like, I'm just gonna sit back and watch the fights happen.
Now I'm just thinking of Mine Fujiko, but yeah. They
There's
use
tons
the
of
rides.
examples.
They did.
They use the rides incredibly well. They use the terrifying. I rewatched part of this episode too because it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
They use these like terrifying penguin missiles. They use Goofy. It's just Goofy. Like
Yeah, it's
you
just
can't.
Spike fucking murks Goofy.
Spike
Oh,
murders
hi.
a Goofy animatronic for no real reason.
Well, I mean, at the end, the Spike just says, "I hate amusement parks."
I think one of the things I've noticed that I love in media and stories and stuff is something that's completely different at what age you view it. This is an episode I view that way. I looked at the comments section, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, that death scene was pathetic. It was funny. It was weird. This was disturbing. This was really funny, really cool." I don't know. There's so many different reactions that this
Mhm.
episode gets, but for me, I was just depressed.
Oh,
Because once you
it's
learn
sad.
the story,
I
Like, I
found
rewatched-
it.
I-
I found it like
Go ahead.
not disturbing, but like not depressed. I found it like just like that's how it's gotta be. You know, like a rather melancholy look at it.
Yeah, where he's
I
just
would have
on
to
the floor,
say-
like bawling
And
his
he gets
eyes out,
fucking
and crying,
run over by
and he
this
just
freaking
gets
parade float, and it's like
stomped
that
by
is
a
the
giant
lamest way to go,
thing.
but it's how he's gonna go.
see, I was
Well,
like,
because it's after he gets like hurt for the first time and presumably ages.
It's a great ending. It's just like, damn, this guy's life was fucking
was like-
bullshit.
I was like distressed at that when
Yeah.
he's just crying like a baby and crying for his
Yeah.
mother. I'm like, oh,
Ugh.
Yeah,
And it's also you learn that ISSP is up to some shady shit here and there.
yeah.
Fucking cops.
It-
He's a freaking police science experiment to create a super assassin, and it goes
And they
horribly.
did. Yeah, this episode is beautiful. There's a lot of minimal scenes, minimal dialogue, which I
Yeah.
love. I love minimal dialogue and action.
And it's one of those where it's just like it's so very different from a lot of the rest, because it's just like you have this like borderline horror movie villain.
Oh yeah. I think that'd be something you'd like a lot, Max. You've expressed
Oh,
that you
I
like that like
love when-
invincible,
Wait, what?
that like invincible like nemesis kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
Where
no,
it's like,
yeah,
How do
literally
we beat this
Nemesis.
unbeatable thing?
Yeah.
RE3
Oh, yeah.
Nemesis, yeah. I love that shit. It's just like bullets aren't fucking working.
What do we do?
Yeah. It's an
So then,
unrelenting force.
Boogie Woogie Feng Shui.
Another throwaway episode.
I don't.
honestly.
Sunstone.
It's good for
Father's
more, like,
location.
Jet
Oh man, what
centric.
happens in this?
Jet.
Jet
It's
helps.
Jet's last episode.
The Blues Brothers chase Jet and some girl he vaguely knows while they are on some treasure hunt for an old acquaintance of Jet. That's my note for this episode.
I would
Yeah,
say
that's
this
what happened.
episode is the most noir of any episode. In the
I think that
series.
was the point of it, if I recall
Yeah,
correctly.
it's very well, yeah. He gives like a voiceover. Jet has
Oh,
like
Yeah,
a
Jet is straight up narrating this episode.
yeah.
I think the thing that did it for me that made this kind of like an episode was just like I did predict the ending.
They
or, like-
also you predicted that the dad put himself in a pocket dimension.
No, I didn't predict that, but I predicted that the father believed that, you know, like
Oh,
their
yeah.
universal feng shui, and I was like,
Oh,
oh, it's gonna be all part of some master plan, and it was.
Yeah.
I was like, of
Yeah.
course it was. But at the same time, I do like how he, in his like videotape, he's like, well, I didn't expect it to go that way, or something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it didn't all
I
go
think it's
exactly to
cool.
plan.
it's cool that Jet gets the spotlight for like a whole episode. I
Yeah.
don't like how they make fun of his relationship with the daughter. It's weird.
Yeah.
They fixate on that a lot. But it's alright.
It's basically it's Jet or it's Faye and Spike kind of
They're
side
trying to make
eyeing
it
him.
sound like that he's dating her, but he's just like, I'm just trying to help somebody.
But also there is some weird romantic tension.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah,
it's resolved. They know it can't work.
it's a one-off. It's okay.
It doesn't help that I don't think they say how old she is. So it's like, is this an uncomfortable age gap or is this alright?
Well, even so, it's like Jet's a
I think it's a scenario where they
30,
like,
40-year-old man.
I think they like each other, but at the same time, they look at each other and like, you know, this isn't gonna work. We're not even gonna try it. You know.
Yeah, no romance in this anime. It's just like One Piece.
So,
So
alright,
now
we'll
it's
skip this
Cowboy
one.
Funk.
Cowboy
Uh,
Funk. I like this
are you
one.
Another
ready for-
really fun one.
Are you ready for our favorite YMCA member?
Young Men's Cowboy Association.
Oh my gosh, I just realized, so I was looking at this because I didn't really remember what episode this was, but I'm looking through the air dates, and sure enough, this one airs later than the rest of the show. Because this show
do you
aired in
mean?
America in 2001. This episode aired February
Oh.
15th, 2002.
Oh,
Weird.
Because this is about a
No.
bomber.
Oh shit. you're right.
Yeah. And
who
this show...
targets tall buildings.
So this show
Oh God,
like
you're right.
started the show started September 2nd, 2001. The
Airing in
episode
the US.
before it came out November 11th, and then yeah,
So
they just
hard
skipped.
skipped this one.
Yeah, they skipped it and then
Okay.
released it a year later in February.
Understandable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I should
but
also mention.
it's a good
I
episode.
should also
in my
mention
opinion.
now, if you look at the episode list at the very bottom, there is episode XX.
Yes.
I saw this. I didn't watch the whole thing, but we'll talk about that. Or we can talk about that now.
Oh, okay, we're not.
Do you want to talk
Yeah,
about that now?
now.
All right, so episode
Yeah,
XX is a bizarre thing that exists.
I haven't seen any of it.
I mean, the
I
description
saw-
on Wikipedia says that it's because of how Bebop was pretty violent, and you know at the time it was airing in the late '90s, the series was like briefly canceled,
So,
and like they only aired very few of the episodes.
Session
Do
XX
Do you guys know?
is a weird, like that. I don't know the context behind it, but I will go into what the actual episode is. It's just random clips from the show with random messages over it, like random like dialogue. And like it's literally clips from the show. You're not missing anything from not having seen it. The dub of it is only a fan dub. Like there's no official dub of it, so it's
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Apparently, it aired on Adult Swim though.
That's weird.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The air
Maybe there is an official dub out there, but
it just never got
on
recorded.
DVD. Yeah.
But
One
the
thing I wanna
episode
mention-
starts out so funny, where it's just the Teddy Bomber.
No, we're
planting
talking about
thing.
the Session XS.
One thing
Okay.
I want to mention with the airing is this show kind of bombed on original launch.
Yes.
This
Because
show,
for some reason they aired half of it.
Well, I
Because
think-
again,
as
as I
if-
mentioned, it was like the show was really violent, and Japan
Yeah.
was kind of not cool with that at the time.
but it's weird
No,
to
they
look
aired-
at the airs. It's like they didn't even air the first episode. What the hell?
They did. They aired
it
episodes
like in a very
2,
broken,
3.
weird order, and it just did terrible.
they didn't-
because they-
They didn't even air the end. What?
What was the last episode? The last episode they air is
18.
Speak Like a
Speak
Child.
like a child. That's a good. Weird.
I mean, I guess that at least is like a. That's weird.
That's
I
a
don't know.
good ending, but
Yeah.
I don't. It would have been better if they did Brain Scratch.
Oh man, they didn't do freaking Mushroom Samba in the original run. But yeah, that's
No,
actually. It's weird because this show bombed in Japan, like you said, when it first came out. It looks like by the air dates, it did a full run in 1999 before the dub existed, but this is a weird case because, like, I think because it bombed first, people didn't really care about it when it got the full run. But then America got it, and we did the dub, and then Japan got our dub, and then they like that better now, as far as I've heard.
Yep. Yeah, no, the dub is considered the ideal way to watch it ever.
Yeah.
I
This
watched
is
a little bit of the
A
sub.
bizarre case of where just like how international anime is like become. I don't know.
especially like
This-
back in the day, you have to consider this is the early 2000s.
Well, this is one of the dubs that made anime mainstream, I think.
Yes.
I would say this is the dub that made anime mainstream.
That's a fair claim.
Absolutely.
This is like if everything is in step, you start with like Speed Racer, where it's like first time we're getting anything at all, and then you get like Dragon Ball Z, where it's like the first time we're getting something like episodic. People are getting into it, and then Cowboy Bebop is like, okay, now we're getting these like
Quality stuff.
we're getting some good stuff, and it's a lot more like harder themes to deal with, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think this is definitely a big turning point for the industry.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Big time.
This and Pokemon probably.
Oh, and Pokemon, yeah.
Well, Pokemon's a whole thing. Like, I mean, Pokemon started with the games.
Well, yeah, but
The anime and the card
man,
game.
the
are just
anime
part of
just.
it.
I would
The
say the
anime
anime
is
is
certainly a
more
big
than
part.
part of it at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a big part. I'm
Especially
but-
in America.
God, Pokemon just.
Not, whew,
Just
That's a
seeing
whole can
my
of
favorite
worms.
thing about Pokemon is just how much adults just didn't get it. They're just
Yeah.
like, what is this thing
Yeah.
that my child wants? There's a whole South Park episode on it. It's so good.
All right, so back to Cowboy.
Okay,
Cowboy
Cowboy
Funk.
Funk.
I love this episode.
This one is great.
It's
It's
pretty
so-
good.
It's like
I
it's
think
so
this might
like
be my favorite.
comedy focused because it's just like the whole time the Teddy Bomber is trying to like get his tell his philosophy and do his plans, and he's always overshadowed by
Mhm.
Andy's shenanigans.
Because there's
And it
this.
turns out he actually kind of has a good message. He's
Yes.
just spreading it in the worst way.
Yeah. And frickin' Andy is this like TV star or something like that.
No, he's rich because his
He's-
like family owns a ranch,
Yeah, and so he's
He's
just
this
doing
rich
whatever
dude.
for fun at this point.
and so he's like, I'm gonna be a cowboy bounty hunter,
He's like
and
the
he basically like Spike's goofy comedic like.
No, he's
duplicate.
Nega Spike.
yeah, he's the
Yeah.
antithesis to Spike. He
He's Nega
Yeah.
Spike.
he is goofy. He shows up at the wrong time. He makes all the bad calls.
Spike.
And he freaking gets out when he's supposed to.
He's the literal cowboy.
Yeah. Oh, then he becomes the
It's great.
samurai.
Yeah, no, okay, well, there's so much in this. There's like the masquerade party where you get hippie. There's
What is this
somehow
episode?
This episode's
Andy
great.
gets the horse on the elevator
Oh my god, the
Apparently
horse in the elevator.
Apparently, at some point, the freaking dog wears a
It happens
wig.
multiple times. It does it at the end too. After they're spiking Andy's
Yeah, at
fight
the end.
on the
That's what I
rooftop.
remember.
Yeah, no, when he enters the masquerade party, you hear like the whistling,
yeah.
and then the horse. He's just on the horse coming out of the elevator.
Ugh.
Andy and Spike have the freaking epic showdown atop of the skies, and it's like really well animated and presented, and it's entirely for petty reasons because they're just two spiteful jerks. They just don't like each
Well,
other.
I think there was a lot of. I think the whole point was Spike struggling with himself, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just presented in this very comedic manner
Oh, yeah, it's
the
hilarious.
whole time.
Spike is like legitimately angry.
Yeah.
And Andy's just kind of strung along.
But Andy's like way in over his head a little bit because he's just like, I'm a rich guy. This is easy.
Multiple times he walks in and he's like, "Oh, you're the teddy bomber," and he's like pointing at Spike.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the few times where Spike is just like rightfully mad the whole time.
Yeah.
This guy just keeps interrupting him. And making
Andy's like the
everything way more
perfect like character that you love to hate.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
where it's
God, when he
Spike
becomes a
having to face
samurai.
all of his own problems.
yeah.
When he becomes a samurai, I just lost it. I'm like, really?
Well, no,
Is that
before
really
that,
what
there's
you're
the point
gonna do?
where Andy concedes that Spike's the real cowboy. He gives him his hat, and then he straight up just says, "See you, space cowboy."
Yeah.
Yes.
He said, I was just sitting in my chair like, that's it, boys. He said it.
You did it. And
Andy is the main
Teddy
character
Bomber
the
explains
whole
his motive on his way to prison finally, and then he sees that Andy's a samurai now named Musashi, and then you get "See you, space samurai."
See you,
for the
space samurai.
I rewatched that because it's really funny.
It's
And the
so
cop
good.
pats Teddy Bomber's shoulder. Like,
I
yeah,
understand.
sorry.
It's like, I'm sorry you had to deal with that.
I'm looking. I'm sorry. Do you guys have anything else to say about Cowboy Bebop?
I just like that episode a lot. It's a lot
It's
of fun.
just such a good episode.
It's good.
Timmy
just a
Turner-
fun,
Timmy
good,
Turner's
fun
dad.
episode.
Is surprisingly good choice for a voice actor for Andy too.
Yeah.
The ending fight scene is one of the best in the show, I think.
And also,
Yeah, and it's made so much better because this is like such a comedy episode, but it has one of
Yeah.
like the better fight sequences.
I would say that all the fist fights are amazing in this
Oh,
Yes.
show.
definitely.
But this is just
Anyway,
really good like gunfighting.
Upload your brain to the net, Colt.
Well, no, I
Anyway,
mean, isn't this?
anyway,
Should we do a movie?
I'm looking up stuff on the episode list. Apparently, Watanabe only co-wrote 2 episodes: Mushroom Samba and the Feng Shui episode.
Wow,
He did nothing else except he was, the overall director and
director.
creator.
Huh.
But he did not personally direct any episodes, which is interesting. Okay, movie.
All right.
Movie. Oh boy, here we go.
I'm not a fan of the movie.
Aw,
Really?
I liked it. Okay,
I
liked
hate
it, and it makes more sense looking back now. After watching the finale.
I think there's some
I
scenes
hate-
that I don't like. I don't like the villain at all.
I hate
But-
the edgelord villain. I hate the ending. I think the ending is awful.
What happens at the end? Shit. I like the
The
whole
ending is,
climax.
was it a dream?
Did they really do
It's-
that? I didn't feel like that was what it was going
Yes.
for.
No. They save the day, and then it cuts to Spike like sleeping on the couch, and then they give the little. Don't they give the little black?
The butterfly
end
like
screen?
appears.
Oh, I thought that was just Spike, like, still under, like, the effects of whatever the fuck the nanomachines were.
I don't like it.
I
'Cause
think it's
the whole thing is like it relates to Spike's whole like, living in a dream. Is this, am I still alive thing?
I think
Big part of what this is, and I didn't really, realize that until after, finishing the show proper.
Right. Yeah.
I think this movie is good, but it definitely has problems. I don't care for the villain. The first like 2/3 are like loaded, and then it just drops, and it's so just like it just completely just loses its momentum at one point, and then it just picks up all at the last minute. But there's definitely some great scenes, like the entire opening scene.
beginning, the beginning with both the convenience store and the opening song are so good.
Oh,
my
Ask
God.
DNA is
freaking
great.
the freaking store robbery. I think if you were
Oh
just
no, like from just that opening scene, like the visual difference and the change from it being the late 90s to it being the early 2000s is so
Yeah.
obvious.
I would
Like
say
the movie budget and just everything. It's like it's so clear.
I
Oh
would-
no, this is different.
I want to say the store robbery scene is like, if somebody were to ask me what's Cowboy Bebop, I would just show them that scene.
It's that.
It's that.
It's
That-
that scene.
It's the scene.
Bebop.
It's them effortlessly going in it just on a whim, stopping a store robbery. Oh, it's so good. He freaking
the opening.
puts a dude's face under the freaking
Coffee machine and
Coffee
dumpster.
machine.
the
God.
coffee machine. I'm obsessed with the opening song and the scene of the song. The song's called Ask DNA. It's one of the better ones on the soundtrack.
It's great.
I don't remember
just
what it
this
was,
really
but I
great-
have a note that says fucking rad opening.
The video is just a bunch of people like chilling and doing stuff in the big city.
Going about their day.
Super fun, super creative. It's great.
But yeah, I love how it's like early on they get like instant noodles and the fucking like
They do,
future instant
yeah.
noodles where you pull the bottom on it and it instantly heats
Oh,
up
yeah.
the noodles. It's
Says
I just like
Just has like a burner on the bottom of it.
yes.
Because that's
It
an
looks- it
efficient
looks
way to
good.
sell noodles.
Ed throughout the movie keeps saying yeah. Like that's her tick in this
Yes.
movie. That's her like particular thing in this movie is just saying yeah the whole time. Like you notice it immediately. You're just like Ed doesn't do that nor hasn't done that before, and then it's just like oh she just keeps doing it through the whole movie. Okay, that's just her thing in this movie.
Ed feels kind of, the phrase flanderized.
Flanders?
Yeah,
I'm gonna assume that means like they're playing it up because they know the fans like it. don't know.
No, it more means that a character loses its distinct traits the longer
Oh.
it goes in a story.
Okay.
yeah,
So Ed becomes more quirky, random the
yeah.
further you go.
It is like noticeably like a couple notches more goofy in this for sure.
I still
And
like
also
him.
like more childish and dumb. Like she just joins the trick or treaters.
I like that
Yeah.
though. I think it's
Eh.
fun.
No, the scene where she's trick or treating to find the
Yeah.
hacker are great, but when she just leaves to join the trick or treaters, that's dumb. She wouldn't do that.
I just feel like that.
And,
Yeah, that's
and then
probably
she's
just
kind
plot.
of gone for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she disappears and like comes back to talk to Spike or something. The actual plot of the thing is it's kind of whatever. It's
Mhm.
just like, nanomachines explain everything.
Yeah, okay, I imagine all three of us had the moment the second it was revealed that it was nanomachines. We all
I
thought
did, yeah.
nanomachines' son.
I didn't say it, but I thought it.
That was my note. All caps,
It was a good
nanomachines'
moment.
son.
I think the best part about it is it's like, so the movie is like there's these weird capsules and they're releasing this thing. It's causing people to die and they think it's a virus, but they can't prove that. And they're trying for like a good chunk of the movie, like, what is this thing? And then they just drop nanomachines on you, and I'm like, of course, it's nanomachines. It's just Metal Gear Rising with how they just, it was nanomachines the whole time. It was so dumb, I couldn't even be mad at it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Considering this was 2001, it's fine. We get some game rage.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say, I said, this guy is about to have a heated gaming moment.
He does.
Yeah.
He overpowers Faye and gets away.
Oh, yeah, he's playing a light gun game. and then Faye actually shoots the screen.
The thing that bothers me the most is that he seems to be like a legitimate person, like an interesting person who's so bored with hacking that he wants to be a terrorist.
Yeah.
But then after the arcade scene, he just becomes obsessed with this arcade machine.
Yeah.
It was insane. And then we have Elektra. Which
Elektra's
is
great.
A bad
I
name.
like her, but yeah, bad
Good
name.
character.
It's like a James Bond name. That is a James. There's a James Bond character that's Electra King or something like that.
The only thing that bothers me is that did you know that an Electra complex is the opposite of an Oedipus complex?
What is that? Like being in love with your son?
No, mom.
Oh.
Is it mom or is it dad?
No, an Oedipus
Might be dad.
complex is being in love with your mother.
Yeah, so yeah, Electra is dad.
Okay.
Also based in Greek stuff.
I'm just gonna assume they were going with the electricity word.
No, they're going with the superhero.
Superhero?
Yeah, there's a superhero named Elektra.
Oh.
Yes,
There is.
Marvel, baby.
Mitch, what do you have to
wait,
say
What? About what?
about the movie?
I mean, we have Spike's iconic "I love the kind of woman that could kick my ass."
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a great fight scene.
That's
yeah.
I think
Just Spike fighting with the broom.
I think
Yeah.
despite the overall plot being kind of the fight scenes in this are
Oh yeah, you know they had
they're
a lot
so
of fun.
good. They don't
the
hold
fight scenes
anything
and
back.
the dog fighting scene in particular.
The whole
think
the whole scene where they chase him out of the freaking medical center. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
They could condense this movie to 45 minutes of fight scenes and it would be the best thing ever made.
There's a whole train fight scene.
Oh, the monorail sequence is
I
so
gotta
cool.
say, train fights are my favorite. They're so cool all the time, always.
Especially how it's done in this, which it's like a freaking future monorail.
It's a
And,
yeah.
like, the way Spike has to like bust in from like up top through the window.
Of course, just to be extra, they have to make it so he's to jump from one window of a train, but also by dodging an oncoming train.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
so video gamey, and I love it.
It's good.
Spike totally almost dies.
Yeah, he has a near-death
He
experience.
gets fucked up
He
because like
pretty much dies.
Vincent is like sort of superhuman.
Yeah, Vincent fucking
Aside from
nades
the
himself.
immunity to stuff.
No,
he,
you have to
like,
understand.
He like
Vincent
bare
has a bunch
hand
of
puts his fingers through Spike's body and like almost like crushes his guts.
Fucking Kensho's him, yeah.
I don't think you guys get it. Vincent is loaded with nanomachines. He
Yeah.
is, like, literally.
Oh my god, he's fucking
Good
Armstrong.
point.
He is the Armstrong equivalent.
Nanomachine, son.
And then like Spike is rescued by Native Americans, who I'm pretty sure is like the elder is the guy from either Jupiter Jazz or the like dude he talks to before.
It's
With
all the
the
same
blues.
guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're all on Mars.
I want to mention that that chief guy has a PS1 for some reason.
He does,
Just in
yes.
the background.
That was
What?
In
that
Real
was in,
Folk Blues Part 1 or 2,
Folk-
I just noticed, like, in the background, he has a PS1.
He does.
Like, nice detail.
I wrote that down. Okay.
They spread the vaccine with prop planes, which a good
Oh,
chunk of which crash because they haven't been flown in forever.
Okay, so in the very beginning, very close to the beginning of the movie, when Spike is going around on a wild goose chase for information on the villain, he
Yeah.
finds the three old guys and actually talks to them for the first time. And they
And-
talk about, oh, we used to crop dust in our plains and on our farms. And I was like, that's foreshadowing, isn't it?
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Really?
I like
don't
the
know,
part,
I-
though, where they're actually doing it, and this guy's like, oh, this takes me back to World War
Oh,
II.
yeah, no,
and he's
let-
like, you
let's
weren't
not
in
forget-
that, you idiot.
No, very important. Samurai Andy's at the parade.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
he shows up during like one brief scene. You see him, and I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sad
no,
I missed that.
Oh, yeah, I have to find it.
That's great. I did not know that.
But yeah, no, he shows up he's in the parade. It's like a silent like cameo, but he's there.
I would say the only other moment in the movie that I really enjoyed was Faye holding up a climate control place.
Yes.
She
Oh,
just
yeah!
runs into this
I need you to
lab
make it
of,
rain. Why?
nerdy scientists.
I just posted the picture of
Where is he?
Oh my god, you're right.
Oh my
There
god,
it
he's
is.
there. Wow.
Yep.
It's hilarious.
It's great. I like lost it when I saw that. I was like, oh my god, there Andy makes a cameo.
You mean he's Musashi now?
Musashi. Yeah.
I think
Also the outro. The outro has one of my favorite songs in the entire series. It's called
Gotta
Gotta Knock a Little Harder.
Oh yeah, I just said badass soundtrack leads us out.
Oh yeah, no,
Which,
the music in the movie is really good. Like,
yeah, they do.
They went really hard for the movie.
I wrote down all of the songs I noticed, which of course Ask DNA. Then they do the fake pop song that Faye listens to on the radio, which is called Cosmic Dare.
Yeah, I love that Faye just has like a kind of a theme song in her first scene. It's great.
Then they have Diggin', which I'm convinced that song is about Ed in the future, but that's just my headcanon. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff, but Gotta Knock a Little Harder. Also, the parade. The parade song is called Yo Pumpkinhead.
Nice.
It's
Funny.
fantastic.
Pumpkin
Yeah.
Hills.
Pumpkin Hill.
Yeah,
But also, I loved how the outro perfectly paralleled the intro, where the intro is everyone being self-absorbed and like looking at, doing their own thing, walking, not looking at anyone else. But the outro is everyone like looking at each other, like looking towards the sky and being pals. It's really nice.
And then just like the return to normal daily life after all of the crazy action we've been witnessing.
Yeah.
I think overall the movie's like weaker plot, but it's got really good fight scenes and stuff. It's the kind of thing that I watched it, I'm like, I kind of wish I saw that in theaters.
Wasn't it re-released recently?
Was it? Oh man.
It was like. Yeah.
I don't think it was in theaters.
It's the kind of movie that just looks like it would be great in a theater setting. I don't know why.
I believe the rights are very questionable right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I really enjoyed the movie. I liked it.
The movie, I would say, is worth watching. I don't think it's the best Bebop has to offer, but it's good.
Mm-hmm. Again, it's kind of like a.
It's a movie length
of
episode.
The best, so
like,
it's not bad.
It's kind of just another episode.
Yeah, it's a long episode that just really enjoys putting its budget to good use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Vincent's kind of a.
He's just kind of another edgelord.
He's just another. He's almost vicious too.
I kind of didn't know his motive.
It's not totally clearest until later on.
I kind of like the hacker better.
Yeah, the hacker's cooler. I mean, that accent is just great, though.
The British accent is so good.
It's good.
He talks like Jerma does in the freaking Rat movie. As one of the
No.
Or is that the one other that star in the Rat? Okay.
It is. Okay, next air quotes episode.
Oh wait, do we want to do rating for the movie?
Oh yeah, good point.
Give it a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. It depends if I'm comparing it to Bebop or just other anime in general.
I think I will give it a 7. I think I had it lower originally, but it's good. It's got some of the best music. It's got some incredible fight scenes. I think the story's worse than most Bebop episodes, but it's worth watching.
7.5 for me.
I give it a 7 or an 8, depending if I'm comparing it to Bebop or just anime in general.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, brain scratch.
Ooh, this is an
Upload
episode.
your brain to the net. It's so freaking.
I would say this episode is almost bad, like in terms of moral.
Yeah, my final like point on it is just episode 23 was interesting.
They give a
Just-
speech about how TV is a cult, and I'm like, oh,
It's so outdated.
This is a cult episode.
Like this was relevant 15 years ago, and now it's just like, no, that don't work no more. Like it only kind of works.
yeah, yeah. They literally say, I believe television is a religion, and I'm like, oof.
Oof. Didn't
Like, can
this
you
one
not
did
just
not
accept-
hold up.
Can you not just accept that radio is dying? Okay.
Yeah. Wait, it's even weirder if you think about it, because this is a TV show.
Yeah. But one thing I saw, I looked up some forums afterwards accidentally. I kind of stumbled upon them. And people were saying that this is the episode where Big Shot goes out of business.
Yes.
Oh, it is.
It goes out of business.
No,
because
wait, was it this
Oh
episode?
no, they're saying that
it
this
is
is
episode.
physically. Like, I don't think they announced that they go out of
The
business
show
in this
is
episode.
canceled. No, it is in this one where the show is canceled because the ratings have been terrible.
Oh, okay.
Do you get it?
Because it's a TV cult.
TV bad.
Yeah.
Ratings
Throw
bad.
away
Ratings
your
bad, yeah.
television. But yeah, other than that, I like the resolution. It's a cult plot, though.
I have many notes on this, even though I don't like it. One, they do a video game commercial, and I love it.
Yeah.
I forget what it was.
Where it's the like brain something.
They make
Oh,
a bunch of they make a bunch of fake
VR
CG
console.
commercials.
Yeah.
I love it.
Jet has to wait in line with a bunch of children.
Oh yeah, to get his hands
Did
on
not
one,
seem
and they
like
put
a
it on the
weirdo.
dog. I like that.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no, they put it on Ein and it doesn't affect him.
Spike notices, I believe, Ed pouring milk into cereal, so he pours his beer into the cereal.
Burial, if you will.
But
Ed makes some fake names to log in to Scratch, and one of them is Marshall Banana.
Yes.
I love that name.
That's the name she uses for Jet.
I love it.
Marshall Banana.
It's bad. And also, they do the Hal death scene, which is a trope.
I think the one cool thing about the death scene, though, is the fact that like it's a stupid animator freaking thing. Is they have like the CG face,
and it slowly turns into just polygons.
Yeah, and it like the subdivision levels go down, and I'm like, animator.
That was clever.
But my problem is I don't understand the guy's motive.
It's sort of like, I guess it's just sort of a thing where it's like, because he's a dude in a coma.
Yeah.
And so
okay, no, I don't get it either.
I don't know.
Well, it's like he's
like
a hacker dude, and he's found a way to live inside the net. Great. Why'd he start a cult? Does he like think he's better than other people?
It's like a vengeance thing where it's like, oh, screw. I've been screwed out of my body, so
I guess that makes sense.
That's other people.
That's the.
I have heard. Go ahead.
Why did other people die? What?
I think he like convinced them to kill themselves.
Is that okay?
Because the whole thing is, sacrificing. You're getting rid of your body and uploading your consciousness to the internet to achieve a higher plane of existence.
One thing that I should note is that literally when anyone ever talks about this episode, they mention Serial Experiments Lane. Apparently, this is very similar to what Lane is about.
Okay.
I mean,
except Lane is incredibly depressing and sad and awful. Like
upload your brain to the net is a kind of cool idea, in my opinion. It's very 2001
Okay,
Space
GLaDOS.
Odyssey.
Okay, Johnny Depp's Transcendence.
All right.
Okay, Kate Johnson.
What a fucking reference there, Mitch.
Yes.
That's awful, Mitch. Why?
I don't even know what that is. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the one where he's like a I don't remember. He's an awful person and he becomes a.
You mean Johnny Depp is an
AI.
awful person? Wow, what a freaking. Oh, you mean he's
character
acting?
in the movie? The character in the movie becomes an awful person and becomes like a god AI.
Cool.
That's all I know.
Man, there's some other things
Okay,
that have people
episode
uploading their things
24.
to break. Yeah.
Hard Luck Woman, which is like simultaneously, hey, you learn more about Faye, and also, hey, you learn more about Ed, which is like
It's
the
also
double
Goodbye
dose.
Ed.
Goodbye,
Ed.
Ed.
This episode is very depressing,
Mhm.
especially with Faye.
Yes.
Faye's ending is incredibly sad. But with Ed, I don't know how to feel about Ed's dad.
I think Ed's dad is...
I think Ed's dad is a bad dad.
He's a bad person.
I think Ed's dad is like, man, you're not good at being a father, but I can see how Ed is like the way she is.
Well, I mean, also Ed's like been away, ran away for who knows how long.
Yeah.
It's like Ed's dad calls her Francois, and also like doesn't really remember if Ed is his son or daughter.
Well, that's Ed's biological name, so
Yeah.
birth name.
Biological name?
Given name.
You know what I meant.
Oh man, we looked at your DNA and it turns out your name's actually Bartholomew.
Damn.
Sorry, man.
That's a good name.
You can't deny these things.
I'm sorry to tell you, you look like a Steve.
Is that a biological name?
Yes. I believe it's on the 28th chromosome.
Yeah, it starts with Faye rewatching the tape from Speak Like a Child. So it's like, oh shit, okay, we got like stuff from the past coming back. This something that doesn't happen very often with this show.
One thing about the more comedic part, because Ed's dad, all the scenes with him are comedy pretty much, but he literally sucks raw eggs.
Yes.
I did see that. All I could think of is freaking, we'll teach your grandmother to suck eggs.
Yes. He literally sucks eggs. He pokes a hole in an egg and just sucks the yolk out.
Eats raw eggs, man.
His
He's
motive,
a bad person.
Ed's...
He doesn't even remember his own assistant's name. His assistant's name is McIntyre, and he keeps calling him like a Macintosh and stuff.
He's just entirely obsessed with his project to Google Maps Earth. That is completely being redesigned.
Earth is constantly getting hit with asteroids.
Or meteorites.
Yeah.
Dude, Earth is a roguelike.
Oh my god.
It's different every time.
One guy, no continues? What were they thinking?
Also,
my problem with the strategy is using a satellite would have been way easier than just manually going around doing this.
But meteors.
But satellites, or just have a spaceship that's able to dodge the meteors.
But Earth fucked though.
What if meteors are satellites? What if satellites are crashing?
We learn like
I would make sense because it's space junk.
Yeah.
But we learn like Ed used to live in like this missionary orphanage.
I love that.
She like run away and like she like just sort of appeared there one day and then she left. Like Faye meets an old woman who was in her like high school graduating class, and now she's a grandmother, which like really just goes to show you it's like that's how long Faye was out for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like oof.
Very gunbuster.
Yes. Then, like Ed's dad having the like fake 50 million bounty, and then it's actually just 50, and then put a bunch of
50.
zeros.
50.00.
0.0000.
Oh man, I remember
then you
on
have
the bounty,
like Faye remembering what happened.
On the bounty, they have a list of his crimes, and they're really poorly translated. And I remember them being really funny. I don't remember what they were though.
Should have wrote it down.
Yeah, Faye remembers the accident that she almost died in, presumably her family died in. Which is awful, but they don't really give you a whole lot of details.
It's just like it's shown entirely in images.
Which is it's good. It's really good storytelling.
Yeah.
They play probably my second favorite song of the whole series, which is Call Me, Call Me. It's very sad. Really good song.
And then Faye kind of just stays around where, like, I don't
Faye
know,
is, like,
what her former
broken.
home was.
Faye is having a breakdown. It's really
Faye's
sad.
Faye has a bad time in this episode. Then Ed just sort of leaves to head off on her own, and Ein comes along with her. And
It's
just
funny
kind
because
of-
I remembered her leaving with her dad, but she doesn't. Her dad leaves her again.
And then Ed just heads out on her own back on Earth once again. And you get
Find some
see you
place to belong.
cowgirl someday, somewhere.
Which they have not delivered on that promise.
It's been how long now? 20 years?
On one hand, it sucks that Ed has to go, but from
Again,
here on out, I don't think
Ed could not have been around for the.
I don't want to see Ed react
Real
to whatever is gonna go down next, because I don't think Ed could handle it.
All right, now time for the exit.
Oh wait, no,
Time
yeah.
for the-
At the end of this episode, also, you have Spike and Jet just downing a ton of boiled eggs together.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah. Them trying to get through their sadness by just eating eggs.
man. I don't know about
Yeah.
you, but like I can only really have like one egg in a sitting.
Yeah.
I'm
Eat like
weak.
6.
I'm weak.
I just don't like eggs. Period, man.
I
hate
like
scrambled
scrambled
eggs.
egg.
I
like
hate
having.
scrambled eggs. I hate them.
I like one though. It's just I have
You
one,
guys
and I'll be
are-
like, that's enough.
You guys are wrong.
I'm
Like, if
very
you have,
picky
like,
about
if
my
there's
eggs
scrambled
sometimes.
eggs in my fried rice, I'll like put up with it, but I'd rather they not be there.
I like scrambled eggs. Like that's my favorite kind of egg. But
Ugh,
You guys,
disgusting.
we're not getting into this, but you guys have bad taste.
I mean, I like egg on other stuff too.
It's
I
not
just
my fault
can't.
I was allergic to eggs for a very long time.
Oh wow. For me, it's
Part
just
of my
like
dairy allergy.
it's like bananas for me, where it's like I
Yeah.
eat a banana and it's good,
Bananas
I
are
would
so
never-
fucking good.
but I'd never
I
have
would not
two
eat, like,
bananas.
two.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
never have two in a row. It's,
I wouldn't eat another banana right after having a banana.
And I get that it's weird that I do that for egg. I don't know.
Well, it's the
Thank
beginning
you,
of
Max.
the end.
What?
The real folk blues.
Thank you for this informative lesson on how you eat eggs.
Yes.
Look, you just got to start from the bottom, and you got to peel it.
Stop. Okay,
you
real
eat
folk
your
blues.
eggs with or without the wrapper.
We might as well just talk about real folk blues fully. No reason to split it up in parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the return to Spike's life. It's all come back to haunt
Spike's
him.
past
He's wanted
has
again.
caught up to him and he can't run away anymore.
So it's
Mhm.
basically implied that under the last regime, Spike was being ignored. They were fine with him leaving, but now the Vicious is starting to get in charge. He's like the number 2 on the ladder. They're starting to hunt the old people
Mhm.
who had quit, like Annie
Because
and
of-
Julia.
Because of Vicious fucks up his coup attempt.
He messes it up, and then he eventually succeeds with using a
Yes.
attack bird, suicide bird,
Suicide Bird.
which I don't really like the first part of Real
Homing
Folk Blues.
pigeon.
I mean, there is a good scene in like the first thing, the shootout at the bar, where Spike takes a
Yeah.
sip of the drink that the bartender was mixing before he got killed,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
which is like, it's just such a Spike.
It's
move.
like
And he insults it. He hates it.
He's like, oh, there's too much vermouth. in
there's
this
something
drink."
about that where it's just like this complete disregard for the guy that just died. It's like wow.
That's just Spike. He has to joke his way through the pain.
Yeah.
Well, also they're in a syndicate town, so it's
Yeah.
kind of
Yes.
expected.
Then you get like the ending for Alfredo, who's the one of the hosts of Big Shot at the airport, where he
Yeah.
takes care of his mom, and he's just like, "All right, I'm gonna just go happily like live my life now." And it's like, oh, it's nice
He's
'cause it's just
unemployed.
such a like a minor character, like a side character having like an ending, especially because it's like this is a continually reoccurring character, you know. I really liked that. It's like they didn't need to do that. They could have left it alone.
I should also mention that in this episode, they go to a doctor for Jet's leg, And
Yes.
it's the same doctor that did the plastic surgery in episode 2 with Hakim.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so like Vicious is like also captured by like the police, and he's about to be like executed.
By firing
Vicious is-
squad, and he's like kind of crucifixed.
Yeah.
Vicious is captured by the Syndicate for
Oh, the
his
Syndicate,
coup
yeah.
and is about to be executed.
And
And then attack Bird, and then he breaks those cuffs, and then he freaking
breaks
kills
those cuffs. God, what a reference! I can break these cuffs.
He can break those cuffs. And then he
can and
freaking
will.
katanas the elders, and now he's the boss. Because that's how it works.
And
That's
him
how-
as
that's how
boss
Mafia
means, and him as boss is just murder everyone,
Kill them all.
pretty much.
Or murder everybody
which they
that
kill
knows
Annie.
the past.
Yeah. And then via
They kill-
coincidence, Faye teams up with Julia.
Oh
That was
yeah.
a good scene.
And
It
then
should also be
Julia
mentioned
just
that-
knows that Faye knows Spike. Somehow.
I feel like that connection was given at some point, and I don't remember when.
No, it was an episode. It was in for Ballad of Fallen Angels,
Okay.
where Spike keeps on getting flashbacks to being treated by Julia after his supposed death,
Mhm.
and Faye treats him the same way.
And yeah, and he like says Julia's name, and that's how Faye knows.
Yeah.
But
Faye
somehow
is
Julia knows
basically-
Faye.
Faye is basically Spike's next Julia.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But so
And just oof.
Julia is like
Julia-
ordered to kill Spike.
No, that's like
Yeah.
in the past.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh,
Well, Vicious threatens Julia, saying, "If you leave the Syndicate, you're gonna have to kill Spike," basically. Which she seems to want to hold up, but she never does because she loves Spike and also
Yeah.
Vicious, which is weird.
Hmm.
They don't
But
really
then,
talk about.
yeah. So then we go back, like they're just trying to sort of escape or fight back, maybe, and like we meet the coffee shop owner who also knew Spike, who's from like way earlier in the show.
You mean it's Annie?
Yeah,
oh
Annie
yeah.
showed up way earlier, and she's been like taken out already. And so then, like Spike and Julia basically go for like a last stand.
That seems
Against
really cool.
the dudes.
She's
Julia
like,
ends up
I
dying.
want to. We can just get away from all this, and Spike's like, no, we can't. This is how it ends.
I mean, let's be real. They could have just hopped on the Bebop and left.
Yeah, but they would have been
But then
followed.
they'd just be getting hunted forever.
Yeah. Like they could have
They
escaped
used-
that fight to die another day, but logistically, I think what's his name? Vicious was just out for blood at that point.
Yeah.
Well, you also have to understand that Vicious had been hunting Spike forever and had not found him until Ballad of Fallen Angels, which was 3 years after he left the Syndicate.
Yeah.
And that was Spike seeking Vicious out.
Yes.
But now Vicious is in.
Spike did that to himself.
Now Vicious is in charge of the Syndicate, though.
Yeah, but there are even people in the Syndicate who oppose him, as seen by Shin.
I guess, yeah.
I think
know how
they
gang
could have
politics
escaped
works.
no problem.
Yeah.
I think they could have escaped no problem. I
But
think they would
then
have only
Julia
been unsafe on
dies
Mars.
in the
But another
shootout.
thing is, I think Jet also just was like, it needs to end. Because he kept running into. He kept eventually running into him again.
I think Jet would have been happier Spike had stayed.
Yeah.
Bebop.
Yeah, no, it's very clear. Like he and especially Faye are really upset about
Yeah.
when
I mean,
Spike
Faye
leaves.
just about confesses to Spike.
like she does straight up say like that like she keeps looking for somewhere where she belongs. She realizes she keeps coming back to the Bebop because that's where she belongs.
Yeah,
Is
that's a really sad scene because it's like after the story, where does Faye go? Does she just chill with Jet?
Like yeah, it's like
I assume that's just the best that she could do.
Julia
Yeah.
dies, then Spike has his final stand.
Oh, I
at
want to say, though,
Dragon Quarters.
I don't remember when this was, but Jet gets this really fucking raw dialogue where he's just like, men only look towards the past when they're near death, only looking for proof that they were alive.
Yeah, that's in either part 1 or 2.
That's so, I love that
That's
line.
Yeah, that's with Jet. They have some really good conversations.
But then, yes, Jet has his final, or Spike has his final stand. He just like goes all out. He's killing everybody. Like the way it starts is really good. Where he just walks in, he drops the grenade, pulls the pin, drops the grenade, and just kicks it into the, and that's just the starting like move. And then he just works his way up until eventually like gets to Vicious's room. Like there's a really good first person scene where it's just him running to the door and opening it up.
Yeah.
The roof fucking explodes.
Oh yeah, the
And so,
first person scene where he's like about to shoot Vicious, but he's like, his hands all shaky.
Oh yeah, they do that in a couple. There's like there's another they do that with the Perot fight, the first one. There's a scene where he's like first person shooting at him.
I should also mention there was a scene I noticed that is so tiny that it's like so easy to miss. But in the middle of part 2, they show 2 of the flower petals from the rose that Julia left blowing away off screen. And that's like a really big thematic thing because I mean, it
That's
could
the
be
end
Julia.
Of the ED is the rose in the puddle.
It could be Julia and Spike. It could be Spike and Vicious. It could be Julia and Annie because they died right before that scene. But that just depends if you think Spike died or not.
Because that is kind of a thing where it's left ambiguous. Is like, because like Spike and Vicious fucking simultaneously. It is a really cool like final.
Vicious
like,
is very dead, and Spike
each
wins.
Other's like gun and sword, and it's just let's end this as you wish.
Yeah.
Boom! They kick each other their weapons.
And
bang, slice. Vicious
it's very quick.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It's quick, but in a really good way.
It's amazing.
But yeah, they fuck each other up bad. Vicious is like definitely dead, and the Spike's going down the staircase,
and then
he's not doing too well. And he sees all the guards that were gonna go over stop him from killing Vicious, and they're all shocked that he freaking they failed, and he just goes bang, and then he collapses on the stairs, presumably dead.
But it's never been confirmed.
It's never confirmed.
It's left to your interpretation because we pan up, there's birds flying away, and then we just get credits.
So I guess the question is, do you guys think he died?
I don't think it matters.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I think, personally, I really don't want him to die.
But come on. How else is his story going to end?
He probably
did. I think he was holding on too tightly to Julia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he could have kept on living.
Like he's simultaneously running away from his past, but staying very attached to it at the same time. It's like,
I feel like if he
only
did
one way
live,
this was going to end for Spike.
If he did live, it's a different life at that point. You know, he's only got stories to tell.
Almost
like his past is done now. Like
yeah.
If he does live, it's like Julia's gone. He's killed Vicious and gotten his revenge.
He's gonna need to find something else to do.
What's left? Like, does he go back to the Bebop?
And you also have to go with the story he tells to Jet of the cat that's immortal.
Oh my god, yeah, I forgot about that. Where he talks about the cat that's immortal
dies and keeps coming back to life.
And Jet's like, "Oh, I like that story," and he's like, "I hate it."
Well, yeah. If I recall correctly, they each tell each other stories. Jet tells Spike a story. Spike tells Jet a story. The story that Jet tells, I believe it. Can't remember it now. Dang it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
It's something that has like some weird mythological element, I think.
I forget.
I think that's why Jet said he didn't like it.
But anyway, at the end, Vicious says, "I'm the only one that can kill you." So if you think about it, if Vicious didn't kill Spike, then he's functionally immortal, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you have to think, how many near-death experiences does Spike have over the course of the show, movie included?
Yeah.
Numerous times
A
where it's
lot.
like Spike should have died.
Yeah.
But he lives because he has to die fighting Vicious one last time.
But I want to mention on the cat story real quick. Right after that, like, he cracks a joke. He's like, "No, I hate that story. I hate cats," and he starts laughing.
And
But it's like,
it's such a laughing through the pain thing.
it's like
Yeah.
not funny.
Here's what-
It's like
it's a pain laugh.
Yeah, they're
it's like
forcing
a
each other.
fucking like anger laugh. It's so weird.
Yeah, like especially if you listen at like
It's
how
so good.
Spike's laugh sounds. It is like not a
Yeah.
happy laugh at all. It sounds very like worse
He's
and
pissed
painful.
off that all he can do is joke about it.
Yeah. Yeah, they never admit that they like each other, which I think is really sad. Like, I just wanted them to pat each other on the back and
Yeah.
be like, "You've been a good partner."
We are
And I'm
friends.
like, you don't
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
But they have their own relationship, and it's sweet.
The
So
show
yeah, no, it's
quite literally ends with a bang.
Yeah.
The last 15 minutes of the show are just beautiful. They're just
Mhm.
amazing.
and then the
It's certified
freaking
classic.
and then you get there's like the black and white shot of Spike smiling laying on the
Yeah.
ground,
You're
presumably
gonna
dead,
carry
yeah.
that weight.
and then you're gonna carry that weight.
But I gotta say, I saw a panel, Steve Bloom, back at Colossal Con last year, and he mentioned, and he showed this to us, I think. He has a tattoo of the audio wave of the bang from the last episode of Spike saying bang. And that's freaking
awesome.
Yeah.
It's great.
Like, he knew right then and there, like, this is good, you know?
Yeah.
So that was Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Overall, I would say probably one of the best anime ever made. Probably.
Yeah.
It is a certified fucking classic.
Absolutely.
Probably one of the best animated shows. Period.
Period.
is-
Yeah. You don't have to limit it to just anime. It's
It
just
is damn good writing.
pieces of
damn
media.
good. I
Where
didn't
it's
even touch on this, but like the visuals of the show, there's not a.
Oh my god.
just A+.
I wouldn't say like
It looks great.
I wouldn't say it's like the absolute most detailed everything, but like
Yeah.
they
but it
never
just
held
looks great.
back. There's no obvious corner cuts. It's
For
it's
what is-
freaking good.
For what is a completely original story by a director, this is Shinichiro Watanabe's first directing gig ever. There's so much money in it. There's so much love in it. It's a thorough world that they've created.
Yes.
It jump-started a career that's worth it.
Not only did it just jumpstart a career, after the fact, it got picked up in America, and it jumpstarted anime in America in general. And what a damn good show to
jump-started
pick
it-
to start.
Yeah.
It jump-started like dubbing. It jump-started
Yeah.
weebs. If
Yes.
you really want to go there.
It jumpstarted just like it really piqued America's interest. It's
We're
like,
where
hey,
we
this
are
is what
now
anime can
because
be.
of Bebop.
Yeah.
Like it's a touchstone.
Yeah. Not only do I think it was like it's a damn good show to, you know, in general, it was also a really good pick for America to get because A, it bombed in Japan, so it was really cheap for us. But also,
Yes.
America loves realistic, gritty violence. We like sci-fi.
Crime
We like
always sells.
crime. We like all these elements, and this is like this was just the perfect bridge because like a lot of the shows we were getting was like weird sci-fi gadgets or like, you know, superpowers, all this stuff. This is like,
I mean, you had Lupin.
yeah, we
which
had
is
Lupin, which
similar.
is like a James, you know, like it's still wacky, you know, to an extent. But this is just like, you know, like a, it's something
It's
else.
had that like adult edge
Yeah.
to it. Where it's like, this isn't a kids show.
It really showed America something new, I think.
I agree. I think it's great. It's
This
amazing.
is yeah. Not only is it an important show, but I think it's a damn good show. Do we want to get to ratings?
Yeah. I will give it an 8 out of 10.
I'm giving this a fucking 9 out of 10. It's great.
Whew.
Yeah, that's fair.
The visuals are great. The story's great. Not every episode is fantastic, but the whole, like the whole is greater than some of its parts. Honestly.
Yeah. This gets the 8 from me. It's really good. It deserves the reputation it has.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For sure.
I agree.
So that was our long-winded 2 hour, 34 minutes, 51 second. Jeez, we made it. We made it, guys.
You're welcome. You're welcome. If you're
And
listening
with
this
that,
far,
we
you're
are
welcome. And also,
finally-
thank you.
Yeah.
Finally back in action.
Yeah. Also, yeah. This was a entire summer's worth of
This has been a long time coming.
of us not being able to
we
do
took-
stuff.
We took an unintentional hiatus, but it's fine. We're here.
We're fine. We didn't. It's yeah.
We're also probably nearing our anniversary of us existing.
Yeah,
I think we've already passed that,
we probably passed it already.
Yeah.
but
I don't know.
it doesn't matter.
Been a good year.
We've had fun. I've watched a lot
We're
of
going to
cool stuff
continue.
because of this podcast. I'm not gonna lie.
Same here.
Like, yeah,
We're
for
gonna
every
continue to have
freaking
fun.
I could not imagine like how little I probably would have seen by now if we hadn't started doing this.
Yeah, well, it's like every Grenadier we get a freaking Devil Man. It's like,
We get
Yeah.
a Devil
It's
Man
worth
or a Madoka,
or a Madoka or a Cowboy Bebop.
Overlord.
Yeah,
Steins Gate,
yeah.
Yep.
We've had some freaking bangers.
Michiko.
I think we.
Michiko. And just like
I think a
not to
majority
even
of what
mention,
we
like,
watch have been
the
bangers.
wealth of like movies like The Witch and
Everything.
like,
Pacific Rim.
so much good shit.
Pacific Rim. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a favorite.
I can't believe. I still can't
Labyrinth.
believe I hadn't seen Pacific Rim until then.
You know what? Me neither.
Yeah.
It's really good. Of course, we're reflecting right back to episode 1 now.
Yeah.
We did it.
Alright.
All right, recommendations.
Yeah. Well, we're still going.
Having showdown.
All right.
Freaking showdown.
So, what are we
I will
doing
go
first?
first.
Okay.
So I'm doing the movie. I'm doing one of my favorite directors. If you're familiar with Park Chan-wook, South Korean director, directed
Uh-huh.
Old Boy. You know,
Yeah.
amazing
Old Boy.
revenge film. But we're not doing Old Boy. We're doing The Handmaiden, which is a 2016 film and considered like amazing. It's a fantastic movie. Apparently, I haven't seen it. It's on Amazon. I'm excited.
All right.
Alright.
So, for my anime pick, I am doing something that I wanted to do for a while, but never really got around to it. And then Connor started, and then I was like, no, you can't watch that because it's on my list. So, we're doing Robot Carnival.
Oh, we're
Yay.
doing we're not doing a series. Okay.
I just want to watch Robot. I want to watch another freaking.
That's valid.
I want to watch
Yeah,
another
let's
freaking
watch it.
collection. I love those. I don't know why.
Me too.
Since Love, Death, and
Yeah,
Robots,
those
I was
are
just like,
cool,
man, I
man.
just want to watch another freaking compilation of those. It's so cool.
We should do some
Anthologies are great.
anthology.
I've got a few on my list. It's just
Yeah,
like
it's hard
don't wanna
finding
do-
like original OVAs. Like, trust me,
Yeah.
I've looked. It's a lot of like
yeah.
stuff that's based on series that already exist. And
No,
stuff.
no. Mitch,
We're talking
I
about
got you. We'll talk
anthologies,
about that.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you some.
like a short film
Tell you some trade
anthologies.
secrets.
Okay, gotcha.
Trade secrets.
Trade secret.
Okay, so we're doing Handmaiden and Robot Carnival. That'll be
Yes.
weird, but let's do it.
We've
Yeah.
had weirder.
We have.
I mean,
Alrighty.
I'm the one that has to come up with a thumbnail, and man, I had no idea what I was doing for Ping Pong and Scott Pilgrim, but I made it work.
Yeah, you did well.
I
did
don't know
well.
how I made that work, but yeah. Anyways,
Okay, signing out.
Bye,
Goodbye.
everybody.
Goodbye.